Well, we have a couple people on that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
John and Alicia.
I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber. This meeting has been noticed in two places, including the city's website, in accordance with the requirements of RSA 91A. The prayer tonight will be offered by City Clerk Dan Healy, and is Alderman Clemens on? Alderman Clee will lead us in the pledge.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding, which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's take a roll call attendance, please.
Alderman Clemens. Alderman Clee.
Here.
Alderman Ravan. Alderwoman Smith. Alderman Tebow.
Here.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman Gregg.
I am here and attending remotely because I am sick, so in the spirit of not sharing germs. I'm by myself, nobody can hear me or see me, and I can hear and see everybody there.
Alderman Dowd. Present. Alderman Sullivan.
I'm here attending remotely as I'm traveling for work, and there's no one in the room with me, and I can hear everybody.
Alderman Sennett.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
Present.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Here.
Alderman Morgan.
Here.
Alderman Lopez. Alderman Wilshire.
Here.
11 present, 4 absent.
Thank you. Also joining us this evening is Mayor Jim Donchis and Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton. Mayor, did you wish to address the board this evening?
Yes, Madam President. Of course, tonight we have the budget before us, which I will address in a second. But I wanted to make sure everybody heard that Nashua has been recognized as being one of the best-run cities in the United States. This time we were 5th on the list out of 148. Previously, we've been even higher, but we kind of go up and down. We've always been within the top 5. And what this attempts to measure is the cost of city services versus the quality of city services. In other words, we are rated very highly with respect to the effectiveness and efficiency of city government. With respect to the budget, I first want to thank the Budget Committee, Alderman Dowd as chair, and everyone on the committee for spending, what I know is a difficult couple of months with respect to reviewing the budget with all the departments, looking through all the line items, and doing the best that you can to try to keep expenditures down while at the same time delivering quality services to the city of Nashua and its residents. But I do have a couple of specific things that I wanted to raise. First, there were some questions during the budget process regarding economic development. And I did mention this to the Budget Committee, but I think that the entire board should be aware of it. Sometimes economic development is asked to do, more, and also the issue has come up, well, how do we compare in terms of the budget with respect to economic development compared to other cities in the area approximately our size? Now, the Economic Development Department has 1.5 people, and with that, they do the economic development work as well as plan events. 1.5. Just down the road, Lowell has 10 people doing the same tasks with, I think, 5.5 people in economic development and 4.5 in events. So even though the city is slightly larger than Nashua, the expenditure there is 6 or 7 times as great as what we have. Up the road in Manchester, there are 4.5 people in economic development. In other words, 3 times the number of people we have. Plus, they spend $300,000 in events. Plus, they did a $1 million marketing campaign. So, obviously, they're spending a lot more money. And another one that I wanted to mention is the city of Dover. 1/3 to 1/2 of our size. They have 3 people in economic development. Now, I'm not really suggesting that you add any money to economic development. I'm just saying that I'm asking that you be careful about cutting it too much because, I mean, I think objectively we should probably be doing more, not less. The other thing I wanted to mention is the raises for the unaffiliated employees. Now, as you know, we did a salary study which was completed earlier this year, or late last year, where we tried to peg the salaries to what people make elsewhere in government, the same industry. And it called for particular raises in all of the unaffiliated positions. And so as we were looking at the budget this year, we were looking at some very rapidly escalating costs. And we've talked through some of those numbers before, but you'll recall that insurance is going up $3.5 million, health insurance, liability over $1 million, special ed costs over $1 million, out-of-district placements for the school department over $1 million, the transportation for the school department over $1 million. We needed to add $900,000 for body cameras, which is a worthwhile expenditure in my estimation. So there were really skyrocketing fixed costs. So looking at the budget, we could see that the budget and the tax rate were going to go up significantly more than at least I think all of us agree they should. We'd like to do less. And so I made a lot of decisions to try to pare the increase down. And one of the things that I proposed in the budget was to implement 2 of the 3 things regarding unaffiliated employees. So the 3 things would be the salary adjustments called for by the study, a cost of living increase, and a step increase. And what I did in the budget was recommend that we put into the budget only 2 of those steps. That is the cost of living increase and the salary adjustments called for by the study, but no step. And in doing that, we saved about $415,000. Now, the Budget Committee recommended that a small group of unaffiliated employees, those in the fire department, get the full amount of the raise, whereas none of the other employees would. And I mean, I, like you do, know that the fire department does a great job. But we have been extremely supportive of the efforts of the fire department in many ways. I mean, I could name probably 10 things, but we started cancer screening. We're adding people to the budget this year for the fire department, which will help in terms of safety. This will enable training officers to locate firefighters quickly within buildings as opposed to just calling around. And, the traffic preemption system, many other things. But last year, the fire department at the top did get significant raises. And again, I'm taking nothing from them. I mean, I know the people, I mean, I like them, I know they do a great job. But the chief got a 20% raise, and the assistant chiefs got 15. Okay, and they had a plan, they had a reason for that. Well, now they would again be selected and picked out to get higher raises than anyone else in the unaffiliated workforce. In my opinion, the fairest thing would either be to give the unaffiliateds all the same as I proposed, or in the alternative, to give everyone, implement the salary study, the full salary study for everyone. I believe it should be all together or nobody. And in my opinion, that's the fairest way to go. So I don't know what your inclinations are, but you could correct that in two different ways. One is to not make the fire department changes, or number two, to add, and CFO Enright has the exact numbers, but $415,000 to the budget to take care, to treat everyone equally. And that's really the only serious disagreement I have with respect to what the Budget Committee has done. I mean, again, the fire department does a great job, but they did get significant increases last year, and I believe everyone should sacrifice with respect to pay to benefit the tax rate, or everyone should get the same raise. Thank you, Madam President.
Responses to the remarks by the mayor. Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I fully agree with the mayor's comments about the all or nothing. The truth is, I think all of us here respect our fire department as we respect every employee within this organization. We have one employee, and I don't want to call him out by name, but that has taken on not just the city, but taken on some of the school department type of things, and we're going to say, you're not deserving of this. So a lot of our employees are working extraordinarily hard, so I believe it should be an all or nothing. The $11,000 was put in as an amendment, and while I understand that's just a small amount, when we look at it in totality, it's $415,626. We either have to put it all in, or we put nothing in, and truthfully, I don't want to see the employees have to take it in the shorts. But anyways, that's just my comment. I agree with the mayor. Thank you.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I tend to agree with what my colleague just said. I think that we can't single out a separate department. We got to do it all or nothing at all. So I love the fire department. Me and Alderman O'Brien put $75,000 back into it for deferred maintenance. So I certainly care about the fire department, but I care about the police department. I care about the other people at City Hall here that do work. So I totally agree with what Alderman Clee said.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I apologize. Usually, I think you really run the city well, but I disagree. I have a long history, yes, with the fire department. I can tell you when I didn't get a raise. You know, I used to have to sign that form, being the former merit employee. And if you did a meritorious job, don't you supposed to get a raise? Well, that did not happen. We were the only ones, because being a deputy fire chief, you're not in the union. I think we need to compensate these people, because if we don't compensate them, then I would recommend, and it kills me to do this, but I would recommend to the high echelon of the fire department to join a union. You got to treat our employees fair and equitably, and that is the same with affiliate and non-affiliate. And that's the only way that you can do it. So for the fairity and equity to all, I support the budget as it stands. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you very much. I agree. It's hard to believe, but I do agree with the mayor. But last night I did some work, and I just want to say to everybody, I apologize for Thursday. I couldn't be here because I had emergency dental surgery, and I wasn't in the best of health at that time. But I did a little fact-checking last night. I did my numbers. And, you know, part of my problem is I'm looking at some of the increases here for department directors. Some of them are getting $9,000 increases. Some are getting $8,000 increases. And, you know, we talk about the non-affiliate. I'm not voting on the budget the way it is right now because I think it's way too much money. But when I take a look at everything, and you talk about the non-affiliates not getting it, and my colleague, Alderman O'Brien's talking about the higher end of the firefighters, the chief and everybody, they can join a union, but the people in City Hall who were promised this through an ordinance last year, they can turn around and join a union also. It is not fair what happened here, but I can't vote for the budget unless you take that $400,000 out, and then we put it back in for the raises for these non-affiliates. The budget is too high right now. I've also gotten a notice saying that my water bill is going up 21%, that's $11 more a month, and we're giving raises out here that's over and above $4,000, $7,000 raises, $8,000 raises. What does that send to the community here saying that some people can't even afford their homes anymore, that we're giving big, high raises here? You know, do we roll up our sleeves? I got chastised the last time because I didn't do line items, I just did bottom line. The amount. It's not my job to go through those line items and give out the money. So I agree with the mayor. I understand what my colleague, Alderman O'Brien is saying. And I know in the past the fire department got shafted. But, and I agree with you. But we're at a turning point here. Who's going to get it? Either everybody gets it or nobody gets it at this point in time because I can't see the taxpayers getting stiffed now. Thank you very much.
Alderwoman Kelly?
Thank you. I appreciate the idea of all or nothing, and these were races that we talked about. I was the one who made this motion, and just to clarify why I did, the firefighters were the first to come to us to talk about their unaffiliated not getting raises and it being really hard to hire in, and it's been a number of years that we've gone back and forth. Yes, we'll do it. No, we don't. No, we'll try to cut it. Then we'll try to cut it again. And from a standpoint of my personal watching everything that's happened in this chamber, I felt that we had promised them this and owed them this multiple times. And they were a step ahead. We did the unaffiliated study, and then we decided what to do with that. I think it was about a year later. So that was why I made that. There's been, I know there are many people in this chamber who remember how many times that went back and forth, and it's vetoed, and these things, a lot of things have been going around, and I felt strongly that we have told them time and time again that we were going to do this and that we should do it.
Alderman Morgan.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate you bringing that up because I was confused as to why the full amount of the unaffiliated salaries were not included in the proposed budget to the Board of Aldermen. The ordinance was passed 13-0 with the expectation that we would uphold our vote and not just vote for it to pass without the actual intent to support it. I'd like to share with you some of the quotes from my colleagues during that vote. Alderman Dowd. We had 3 union contracts come through, and they all got passed unanimously and cheerfully. They are unaffiliated. I think it's about time that we take care of them. Alderwoman Kelly. I think it's really important that we take care of everyone who works for our city. And Alderman Klee. We have gone over this ad nauseum. We did studies. We talked about it. We corrected the studies. We redid the study. We brought in different groups of people. We looked at other cities, what they were doing. I think to ask our unaffiliated to wait just that much longer would be wrong. To what end? Our employees have made life decisions based on these expectations that they would be getting this raise come July 1st, remodeling or refinancing a home, not leaving the job that they do love for a higher paying job in another city, a vacation, or not selling their house because of the expected raise and being able to actually afford to live in it after their housemates have passed away. Yes, we need to do everything that we can to bring down the budget, but we also need to uphold our word.
Okay. Recognition period.
None.
Reading minutes of previous meetings, there being no objection, I'll declare the minutes of the regular Board of Aldermen meeting of June 10th, 2026 be accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
Communication has been received from Sam Durfee, AICP Planning Manager, regarding referral from the Board of Aldermen on Ordinance O-26-013, amending the zoning map by rezoning land along Northeastern Boulevard and Industrial Park Drive to Highway Business HB. And communication has been received from Business and Industrial Development Authority, BIDA, regarding selection of development proposal for Pine Street Extension parking lot and former police training facility.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communications and place them on file. Without objection, I'll suspend the rules to allow for a communication that was received after the agenda was prepared.
Communication has been received from Jennifer Bishop, President, Board of Education, regarding Resolution R-26-044.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communication and place it on file. Period for public comment relative to items expected to be acted upon this evening. We have 4 people signed up. First is Bob Keating.
Good evening. My name is Bob Keating from 5 Coburn Woods Drive. Speaking about the budget and homelessness today. And first part is some good news on the federal government that just passed a major housing bill. Remarkably positive. It won't directly affect homelessness in the near future, but it's good news. The bad news is that we are continuing to deal with what is likely to be a significant drop in at least the funding and the way funding is going to be used from the federal government that we get from the McKinney-Vento Act comes through COC, and you've heard that before, that it includes a drop from 90% assurance to about a 60% assurance. So that's going to be quite difficult. So the money from local community, our city, becomes all the more important in times like that. And to put in context what's happening of late, that we're hearing a number of people being moved from one place to another as anticipated, since there's not sufficient housing. And one of the things that happened today, as I spoke to to a woman who sleeps outside, and she was talking about difficulty sleeping, and she's on medication, including for insomnia, and she said she was up till 2 o'clock at night. And I immediately thought myself, and I suspect it might be true for many of you, if you were sleeping outside in a non-protected place, that you might want to keep your eyes open as much as as possible. So that was my thought about her, and then I thought about all the other costs that's incurred, including the police time that's being made for that. So figure out when I goes is that $1,000 said for $1,000 you house a person for a month. We've got about 40 chronically homeless people at the last count. So the month's about $40,000. That's even if they don't have any any money. And so for $40,000, you've taken 40 people and put them in a house, or about $33 a day. So that's really not much money. It's less than about 0.1% of our budget, proposed budget of $383 million. So I just hope that continue that the thoughts that people have had about helping people get off the street and have a better place to live, that your deliberations tonight and going forward will result in more housing. It's $1,000 per month. So thank you.
Gary Hoffman.
Gary Hoffman, 38 Perham Street, Townhouse D, Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm also the president of the Nashua Teachers Union, which is why I'm with you this evening. I'm speaking in favor of the secretary contract, which is R2644. It's interesting listening earlier to the whole dollar amounts on the unaffiliated raises. This contract is a lot more modest in terms of the dollar amount raises we're talking about. We worked really hard to come to an agreement with the Nashua School District, and we were able to come up with a 3-year deal. In year 1, the percentage increase is 4% to the grid. Year 2 is 3%, and year 3 is 3%. And in year 2, we do move from a 5-step schedule to a 9-step schedule. This is something that my union's been trying to get for decades. With the old system, a secretary would remain in the same step for 5 or 6 years. Now they're going to be moving smaller amounts, but they'll be moving more regularly, about every 2 or 3 years. Now, when you think about a 4% raise, and what does that mean to the grid, you got to remember these clerical workers are making around $35,000 to $40,000 a year. So with a 4% increase, you're looking at between $1,000 and $1,200. This is far less than the $7,000 to $8,000 raises that were being spoken about earlier. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about this contract. These increases, I got to remember the health insurance rates are going up for my employees, I believe another 13% this year. So I don't even look at these per se as so much a raise, but just keeping up with the cost of living. My people, they have bills too, and if this contract's passed, they can keep up with those bills. So I urge you to pass this unanimously tonight. If that happens, I'm hoping Ms. DeGray can get these raises in before our current deal ends on July 1st, and we can keep this thing moving. So thank you.
Thank you. Lori Ortolano?
Lori Ortolano, Nashua. I'm here to not support the budget. I'm hoping and will thank people here who vote against it and having the courage to do so. I think we have too many managers who are not qualified for the positions they're in, and we're paying very high salaries. I also do think we have a problem in our management structure, and I know we rate very well on Wallet Hub, but we still seem to have a great deal of difficulty recruiting people into management positions to come work here who are qualified. And that's an issue I think you have to address. It doesn't matter what Wallet Hub tells you. You got to look at the here and now and the reality of, how positions are being filled. Filling our CFO was a very difficult task. Our candidate base was almost non-existent. Filling our HR director is a very difficult task. So I just don't think you have the right people in charge in the right management positions running this city, and I just don't support a budget like this. As far as unaffiliated employees, I heard good discussion, and I do agree a lot of these people who the commitment was made to give them raises who haven't gotten raises in a long time, and particularly people who work in the cemetery, who work at the cable station or do the television stuff, they're entitled to that raise. And I don't think you can pull the rug out from underneath them. At the same time, I think some of our top-level management positions are overly funded, and they shouldn't be getting $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 raises because they're at the top and they're making $167,000. So next year they go to $177,000. I think some of those wages should have been frozen, and those top raise wages would have gone a long way and will go a long way to fund a lot of these lower level people who haven't had an increase. When you're looking at $1,000 raise going to somebody or $1,300, you could fund 10 employees with that raise for what one executive is getting. And I think some of these pay levels have gotten out of control. With regard to the resource center or the homeless issue and housing, which is in the budget, always a topic here, I would just like to say, as you approve this budget and go through it, that I'm hoping very soon the city will come forward and give us a rundown on land you're looking at, buildings you're looking at, places you are finding. It's been 2 months since the Mulberry Street deal closed, closing in on 2 months, and I'm hoping the city has some input for us in spending some of this money to do what we said we were going to do. Thank you.
Fred T-Boom?
Excuse me, Fred T-Boom. I also live in Nashua. I want to talk about R26028. I went to the minutes of the Budget Review Committee and found out by adding up the numbers that they only cut $115,000. That's it. Out of a $384 million general fund, cut $115,000, less than 0.03%. Now, Mayor mentioned Manchester. They cut $12 million bottom line. That was from the school department. Nothing wrong with Alderman Johnson recommending $4 million cut in the school department. Outrageous increases. The Budget Review Committee wasted its time completely, accomplished nothing. $150,000 is nothing in a $384 million contract budget. You need to now raise $289 million worth of taxes. That represents $22.5 million more than last year. Each 1% of tax rate is affected by $2.89 million. That's a lot of money for 1%. The tax rate is going to be 8% more than last year, unless you offset that. This fund balance money, take money out of our reserve funds at a rate of $2.8 million for each percent. It's outrageous. There's a problem with R26028. It shows that the enterprise fund is $6.9 million in deficit. There's supposed to be an interfund transfer from general fund to the enterprise fund. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it last year. I found it a few years ago. That doesn't affect the tax rate because the transfer from general fund to enterprise fund is neutral on the tax rate. But I don't know who does the accounting around here. That's a complete flaw. Enterprise funds are supposed to be like special revenue funds, neutral in terms of income versus expenses. Finally, looking at the minutes of the Budget Review Committee, in commenting on the spending cap, it mentions here, SB 52 passed. National spending cap is grandfathered in. Spending language charters 56C and D is valid,
30 seconds.
enforceable going forward. Mayor Donches, there is no confusion about the spending cap. There is no invalid ordinance on what the state did. They simply changed the date and made the date effective, grandfathered in. It states there right here. No sneaky financial trickery that's performed. I asked to see the CFO about this. I'm still waiting for the answers to my questions.
Time is up.
Yes, thank you.
Communications requiring final approval.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donches regarding multi-year contract award, management of biosolids.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to accept, place on file, and approve a 3-year contract with Wastewater Management of New Hampshire for management of biosolids at the wastewater treatment facility in the amount not to exceed $3,894,445. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Wastewater Fund 54 Property Services by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, would the clerk call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
And that motion carries.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donchus regarding $1 million contract award, Nashua Transit Buses.
Alderman Gregg.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull this up on my phone too. I apologize, I can't pull the document on my phone and my computer. If somebody else could make that motion.
Okay, Alderman Clee?
Thank you, Madam President. I motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 4 Dodge Ram ProMaster ADA accessible low-floor cutaway buses from Model 1 Commercial Vehicles Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,008,628. Funding will be through Department 186 Transportation Fund, Federal Grants /81 Capital Outlay /Improvements, $856,334. NHDOT Grant /81 Capital Outlay Improvements, $75,647. SURF /81 Capital Outlay /Improvements, $75,647. By roll call, please.
Alderwoman Kelly.
I think you said 856,000, not 857,000.
I apologize. Okay, I'm trying to find where that,
Second to last line.
Second line up from the bottom.
okay, so, I'm sorry, 850, sorry, I'm just going to read that particular line there. Fund federal grants, so federal grants, 1/81 capital outlaw /improvements, $856,334.
It's 857. Do you have?
157, no, my brain is just not there. 857,334, and mine does say 857, so I apologize to everyone. Thank you, though,
Thank
for
you.
catching that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just want to make sure we didn't short them.
No.
Discussion on the motion? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
12 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries. Petitions,
None.
nominations, appointments, and elections.
Historic District Commission, Marnie Gordon, new appointment, term to expire July 16th, 2029, 69 Concord Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03064.
There being no objection, I'll accept the appointment by the mayor as read and refer that to the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee. Reports of committees.
None.
Confirmation of mayor's appointments.
None.
Unfinished business resolutions.
Second reading of R-26-028, relative to the adoption of the fiscal year 2027 proposed budget for the city of Nashua, general enterprise, special revenue, and grant funds.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend R-26-028 by replacing it with a goldenrod copy of amendments made at the Budget Review Committee by roll call. And with the indulgence of the president and the committee, I'd like to bring Dawn Enright up, CFO, so she can explain the goldenrod copy and what the new numbers are.
Yes.
You can see over there.
Yeah.
He doesn't bite. He doesn't bite.
It's very tiny. And on yellow paper makes it really.
Ms. Enright.
Thank you, Madam President. Dawn Enright, CFO. So with the goldenrod amendment in front of you is the calculation of all of the adjustments that were made within the committee. The goldenrod adjustment to the general fund, you may notice, has changed slightly from what it stated in the original goldenrod. There was an oversight of the special revenue fund increase to the revenues added in with the general fund. So if you turn to the back of the page of the calculation, you will see an increase in the wages under the Special Revenue Fund for the community television of $71,529. Because the increase was put there and not netted in the general fund, the general fund adjustment is now $360,208, with a total adjustment to the general fund of a decrease of $337,002. I'd be happy to answer any questions with that explanation.
Anyone have questions for Treasurer Enright?
Just for clarification, the motions from the Budget Committee are in this goldenrod copy, correct?
Thank you, Madam President. Don Enright, CFO. Yes, all of the motions that were made on that goldenrod are included in this calculation.
Thank you.
Discussion. Alderman Lopez.
It's not an essential point, but it's been brought up many times in this chamber, and I'm not the only one now. So when we do something like this, could we just turn it sideways so we can read it better? This is important numbers, and it's really frustrating to have to use a magnifying glass to see it.
Certainly.
Alderman Clee.
Just a point of clarification. If we don't agree with all of the elements that the Budget Committee made, we cannot pick and choose which ones. This is all or nothing, so we vote up or down this particular document. Is that correct?
That's the present motion.
Yes, okay.
If you want to amend the present motion, that is possible to be done. If this motion fails or whether it passes, further amendments can be made to, presumably to a motion to adopt the budget, pass the resolution. But the present motion is to amend in accordance with this goldenrod.
Thank you.
Alderman Clee.
I, too, am having a very difficult time seeing this, so I'm going to look to Ms. Enright. The motion that I'm going to want to make is to take out the 11,000 for the fire, because I think there will be another motion later on to do the entire affiliated, because I truly want it to be an all or nothing. So that is in here, correct?
Don Enright, CFO. Yes, correct. It is line 5.
So it's line 5?
Oh,
No.
I apologize, line 6.
That's Walnut Street, yeah.
I apologize, line 6.
Am I reading that? Is it line 6 on this particular?
If you're looking at the Board of Aldermen adjustments at the top as of 6/11/27.
Oh, okay, you're talking about on the Schedule B.
No.
Nope. Okay. Do I not have that?
You do, everyone. Here. Then the flags.
Apologize.
That's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I can take the one that's beside me. So I would like to make that motion then to do as Ms. Enright said, to eliminate line 5, the unaffiliated.
Line 6?
Sorry, line 6. Can't get my number straight, can I? I apologize for it. And I would, to eliminate that, and I believe that's $11,009, and I'd like to speak to it if I may.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you. The reason for this is that while I 100% agree that the firefighters have way too long waited for this, these adjustments and so on, so has our affiliated, and I can't sit back and have a potential of this passing and then the affiliates not get something. So for that reason, I know it probably will not pass here, but I do feel I need to speak to that. So thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Alderwoman Kelly.
I was just going to suggest that you pass what's in front of us and then just subtract what's there, so we're not doing two motions.
I'm sorry.
If we approve what's in front of us without your amendment, you can just add versus we're going to have to do this motion and then another motion. So you're going to end up with like 4 motions to get to what you want.
Okay, so, Madam President, I would
Yes.
like to amend my motion to, rather than to take that out, based on Schedule B of the proposed budget, the unaffiliated salary adjustment, I would like to put these items in, which are the unaffiliated 5110s, the enterprise fund of, as well as a special revenue fund, unaffiliated salaries. And that would increase it by, so let me take that 11,000, 9, 7, I believe it's 400 and, sorry, Ms. Enright, am I accurate? Oh, she ran away. She ran away. I can't blame her.
She feels.
She's getting all the stuff.
Okay, thank you.
She's ready now. She's ready too.
I'm trying to do this in my head. So if I, the amount I'd be adding would be $4,617. Am I accurate on that?
400,000?
404,000, because it was 415. So I have to take the 11,000 out because it's already there. So it would be adding another $404,617. Is that correct?
May I clarify something?
Sure.
Yes.
If you want to achieve that, you have to amend the text portion where you can see there's a paragraph that starts with the word second that has been stricken out.
Okay, the language in the unaffiliated employee personnel policies,
Yes,
I would have to put that back in.
exactly.
Okay, so I would like to make my motion, if it's possible, to put back in item number 2 from the goldenrod copy that was struck, to bring that back. Is that accurate, Attorney Bolden?
Might be better to say the 4th paragraph from the bottom, remove the strike-throughs to restore the language originally present.
Okay, what he said. I'm having a hard enough time with numbers, let alone, thank you, Attorney Bolden.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Is there discussion? Alderman Tebow.
Thank you. I don't think I'm going to support this in the budget if it's put in the budget. You know, we've had budget committee after budget committee after budget committee review, and some people have come, some people haven't. Our committee has been mostly there most of the time, so that's good. But no one's ever said, hey, we should put this back in and let's do it. Or anybody that's wanted to, that hasn't been on the board, said, hey, can you put this up front for me? And now we're at the board meeting, now we're doing this. This is a big chunk. So for me, you know, when we do the 13,000, 15,000, 20,000, I don't expect that we would make a match for that. But if we're going to add 400,000 plus to the budget, I would expect that we would try to cut 400,000 from the budget. That's right. So where are we going to do that? It's easy for people who aren't on the budget committee. I'm not, this is not directed to Alderman Clay because she goes to most of those meetings, so I don't, this is not to her. But in my opinion, if you, we should try to, you can't come to the last meeting and say, oh, let's do this 400,000, add it, after we've been trying to, budget committee after budget committee after budget committee, trying to cut things, trying to nickel and dime or cut here and there to try to get the budget down, and then we put 400,000+ back in the budget without taking anything out. So for me, I would need a appropriate cut that makes sense to match that, to balance that out for me to support this budget with this put back in there. It has nothing to do with the employees, it has nothing to do with fire, police. I do think it's all or nothing, I've said that before. So if it would just been fire, I probably wouldn't have supported that either. Because I think at this point, you either pay them all or don't pay them at all. But you need to, I think, have a corresponding balance to it. So that's my thought.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yeah, you know, I think some of us here have forgotten what we have done. What we had was a legitimate problem. We had the rank down below deputy fire chiefs, captains were making more money than deputy chiefs were. So why would you, in God's name, want to become a deputy chief and a leader of men and directing fires? You don't, because you could stay a captain, work overtime, and exceed deputy chief's pay. So what we did, we looked in the past, and last year when we passed this, we adjusted, all we really were doing is adjusting the compensation, and it wasn't really a raise. It was trying to stop what's been going on for years here. It's called compression. When the lower unionized force is making more money than our managers. That's wrong. And so in order to stop that, the increase for chief officers this year is 1.70%. So I think it's actually less than what other unaffiliated employees are getting and needs to stand. The fire department seems to be content with it. And I've seen over my 35-year career, this fire department get kicked around the barnyard. And I'm going to defy and not going to allow that anymore. These are highly educated individuals that risk their lives. Let's look at Lieutenant that was injured up at the Amherst Street fire. It can happen any particular day. It can happen to any of these chief officers or anybody else. It's a difficult job. Usually when firemen die, we die in numbers of 4 together because we will operate as a team. And so in that team spirit, I'm not going to support this. I think they are highly qualified and need to be compensated for exactly what they're doing. You are talking about a group of men who are sending, or women, could be women, but they're sending, they have to, into the burning fires to extinguish them. It takes a lot of knowledge. I know myself in my career, I did schooling and schooling and schooling to become a chief officer. So they need to be compensated. So I'm against this. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson?
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask my colleague from Ward 3 if she'll withdraw her motion so I can make some motions here to see if we can get the budget down so you can put in your $404,000 plus.
Sorry, I apologize, but no, I will not.
Because I have a bunch of motions that I'd like to make to bring the budget down, but I know we have a motion on the floor.
We do.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to make a couple of motions here.
Well, we have a motion on the floor.
That's what I'm saying. We have a motion on the floor. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Next, I have Alderwoman Kelly. Okay. Alderman Clee?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to make a clarifying point. I 100% agree with my colleague, Alderman O'Brien. He's absolutely right. Our fire department has been kicked around the barnyard, as you put it, way too long, and they need to be compensated. Last year, they did get compensated. I originally asked to cut them so that I could then do another motion to put this whole thing through, but Alderwoman Kelly had suggested that I just add this to it. So I'm not cutting the fire department. I absolutely 100% agree with you that they deserve it, but I also think all the other unaffiliated, deserve it as well. I don't want to cherry pick any particular person. As I spoke when we talked about the mayor's, when the mayor made his comments, you know, we have an individual who works in the city who is not only doing the job that he's been doing, but he's also taking on aspects of the school department as well and taking that on. And he's not the only one. We're slowly kind of mixing the school department in some aspects with the city so that we can reduce staffing. And in doing so, you know, one person takes on extra work. So that's why I feel that the unaffiliated should not, all unaffiliated. I 100% agree with you about our firefighters. They deserve it as much as anybody. And you're right, we should never have the underlings having the ability to make more than those that that supervise and so on. So I 100% agree with you. I hope that you'll support this so that everybody kind of gets taken care of. Our unaffiliates have also been ignored for way too long, so thank you.
Alderman Morgan. Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted, my clarification was exactly what my colleague had said, was that this was to include firemen and all of our other unaffiliated, because at this point, right now, we are penalizing our unaffiliated for not being in a union. And we're saying that if you're not in a union, well, sorry, there's no one that's going to speak up and advocate for you, even though we said that we were going to do that a year ago. And I think that it is prudent on us to also realize that they're not just employees. Many of these people also live here, so they're getting hit double. They're not getting the raise, and they're being asked to pay more in taxes. And one individual specifically, he lived with both his mother and his brother, his mother and his brother, hasn't received a raise in 8 years. His brother passed 2 years ago, his mother passed a year ago, and he was ready to leave the job he loves so much to go work for another city to make a lot more money because he couldn't afford his house or lose his house, sell it. And with this raise, he'll be able to stay in his house, continue adding to our tax base, keep his job here in the city that he loves, and also allow the city to not lose a valuable employee, not just in a position that is hard to fill, but also in that skill set that he brought for the last 8 years. So I'm happy to support this motion.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah. I think it would have been cleaner, nothing against you, Alderman Clee, I understand where you're going with this, to approve the goldenrod copy and then go to the final motion, because then people are going to make other motions. In fact, I have a motion from Mr. Healy to save some additional money. So I was hoping we get through the goldenrod copy and go to the final budget, and then on that motion, make additional motions as people see fit. But the motion's on the floor to do what you're talking about. Now, just a couple things, Manchester did the same thing. They did the study, they finally approved it, and they gave their employees the raises. I always equated the non-affiliateds from the Charlie Brown and Lucy football,
Right.
We held the football out for them, and then we pulled it away from them.
We're doing it again.
And I don't think that's fair. So I hate to increase the budget. I really do. But if this comes around, I'm going to support it, because when I was on the Board of Education, we had the vice principal, the principals gave up their union because the Board of Education said, we'll take care of you. Every time we give the union a raise, we'll give you guys a raise. Yeah, they didn't. So the principals went back and formed their union again. Now we have a union contract for the principals. And I foresee additional unions coming if we don't do this, and in the long run, it will cost us more. So I will support this, but I really hesitate increasing the budget, but that's where I feel.
Alderman Tebow.
Thanks. Yeah, again, I would just say, why didn't we try to get this passed during the budget? I don't, because it's a pretty big chunk, and it was a pretty big deal to begin with. It's not like one of those things we just found as we went over it during the course of the weekend. It was something that was pretty big. I was at every single budget meeting, and I don't remember ever hearing this come up other than the firefighting one. So, I mean, I'm still not going to approve this amendment as is until we can get appropriate cuts and for it, so.
I have Alderman Lopez and then Alderman O'Brien.
So speaking for myself, I did not do very well when I tried to make amendments at the budget. And I have found this particular budget year really difficult because the numbers in the book are not accurate per se. And a number of adjustments have been made at the Budget Committee. And then even tonight, we're given the summary of adjustments and it's barely legible. So I think some grace to our fellow aldermen is called for. At the end of the day, the committees do very important work. We all have the right and the responsibility to make changes at the full board if we aren't satisfied with what the committee decides. I do I guess, empathize with my fellow aldermen who have their own amendments that they want to see pass. And so they'd like to be first, so that then it puts better confidence in Alderman Cleese. But someone had to start, and if everyone is sure that they can reduce the budget, then that will be great. I will look forward to those amendments, and we will see what those look like, and maybe we won't end up raising the overall budget. But I see the value of this period. I think our unaffiliated staff members do deserve this raise, and I think there's a strategic importance here and a trend that I can't be the only one to see. We have seen an increase in our school budget predominantly because we, at one point, removed our I guess, public bus system and replaced it with, outsourcing and private contracts. We have seen an increase in paraprofessionals because we can't hire and hold enough paraprofessionals, which would be more cost-effective to the city, so we have to contract that outwards. When we can't hold good people to do these jobs, we do end up still having to do the jobs, and we spend more. So as it was pointed out, it could be a problem for us where our own employees don't feel like they have enough of a voice, that they have to unionize. But I wouldn't want to see them leave, because I think it will drive costs up even more when we need things, and tasks done, and we lose the institutional knowledge that's coming with that. We lose the people who are invested here in our community because they live here. So I think it is important to pass this amendment and to recognize our unaffiliated employees, not just for the honor of the Board of Aldermen, but because it makes fiscal sense over the long term. If you look at how employees are treated and where our biggest trouble spots are, when we don't compensate them, we end up paying more.
Next, I have Alderman O'Brien.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Last year, I had a problem that was brought to us with the compression between the unionized ranks and the unaffiliated, and we solved it. This board voted for it. Now, I'm a man of my word. I don't step back from commitments because of the political whim of any particular time. But right now, we made that commitment to the chief officers of the fire department. And now we seem to be backpedaling. And I don't agree with it. Again, being a man of my word, I love these guys. They did phenomenal things, almost to the point of risking their lives. And I'm not going to backpedal on them at this particular time. The thing is, by doing this, a problem that we fixed, we're breaking something. This is like a ship taking on water with this idea, and then you cut a hole in the side of the ship to let the water out. It don't work. And I think it was already predetermined. They're counting on this. So I am still not going to support it.
Everyone understands.
I know.
I'll tell you, I would support other unaffiliated and the correction. It's something that we need to do as a city, but this ain't it. This was solving one particular problem. You want to identify the other problems and solve them? I'm right with you, 100%. But don't break something that we're fixed to try to fix another thing. Thank you.
Alderman Dowd.
Just for clarification through you to the city council, for the amendments to this goldenrod copy, do we need 8 votes or 10 votes?
Well, right now, I believe you only have 12 people, so you need 7 votes.
Yeah, okay.
13.
I mean, the full budget, we
13.
need 10 votes.
13, so you need 7 votes.
Yeah, but the full budget, when we pass it, would require 10 votes, but these changes.
The ultimate passage will require, it depends how many people you have, but it will require 2/3.
2/3, yes. But for these motions, you're saying 7.
A simple majority.
Thank you.
If someone abstains for a valid reason, it's the number who vote, but.
Next, I have Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. Just for a couple of clarifications. One, we also made a commitment to pay the unaffiliated when we voted for the ordinance. So fire, not fire, we made commitments to both. So, I mean, if we're going to keep our word, we would keep both, not just one. And the other thing is, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with Alderman Lopez. It is all our responsibilities. I can give grace to all of you, but it's all our responsibilities to know what goes on in other committees, especially if we're voting on the budget that increases taxes. I'm sorry, we have to know what we're voting on. It's that important. If we can go out there and have to say we got to do an 8% tax increase, I'm sorry. I know the budget met 3 nights a week for 2 months, and some of us only have 1 committee a month, but it's important to know the budget. It's adamant. I don't care if you're not there or not. You need to either watch the meetings or read the minutes or what. And if you just want to vote blindly, that's fine. But it's that important. And I said it in the beginning when we first started. I said, for the new people, this is important. I think the only one I would give a pass to is Alderman Ravan, because he's brand new. But he's been coming to meetings, trying to learn and trying to get up to speed. So I don't know what to say. We have to know this stuff. We can't come to the last board and spend 15 hours debating stuff we've been debating for 2 months. I'm sorry.
Alderman Johnson?
Thank you very much. Alderman Morgan said something very interesting. She said, we have an employee that lives in the city, the mother passed away, brother passed away, can't afford the home, needs to raise. But on the other hand, I'm sorry, I can't really talk that well today, but on the other hand, you're also saying, we're going to give you a raise, but we're going to take it back and give you an 8% tax increase maybe. So how does that work? It kind of just, it doesn't even out here. And this board last year, which I was not on it, voted to give the non-affiliates that increase. The mayor felt that we couldn't afford it. And through this whole budget process, I've heard from a lot of people about this. I'd love to give them this increase, but not unless I reduce this budget can I say I can give it to them. And I tried to make motions, and I didn't do line items, so a lot of my motions failed. I don't do line items because, you know, there's nothing that says I have to do a line item. You're taking 1,000 here, 1,000 there. You got to go in and make a big adjustment here, and it's going to be a big adjustment. The other thing I'm going to say, this budget has been screwed up since day one. All we've done is get goldenrod copies, a fix here, a fix there. I said at the beginning, let's start all over again from square one and give us a budget that's not all messed up, that we have to try to figure this out. I mean, we get all these papers, and that's what I said at the beginning. I held up all the papers and said, look at all these papers we're getting. Everything's a correction. I was told I was aggressive that night. I'm not being aggressive, I'm being truthful. You can't work, these are numbers. If you make a mistake here, it could be worse on the taxpayers, or we can cheat some of our employees that should be getting a raise here. And why did we allow this to continue? The budget does not have to be passed to August 1st. I asked council. We have time to go back and sit down and figure this out and do it the right way to take out of the budget, add back in, and make it a budget that you can present to the taxpayers of this city. And if you think I haven't heard from people, think again. People are not happy because, I'm going to say it again, we're getting a 21+% increase from Pennachuck. So that's going to add on another $11 and something on our bill on Pennachuck. You've got people out there that can't afford another 8%. They can't afford 6% at this time. You've got your seniors, you've got your disabled, you've got the young man who's working for the city. You put 8% tax, or even a 6% right now on them, he might not even be able to afford it, even with this increase. So maybe we should go back to the drawing board, roll up our sleeves, and present to the city and our citizens a good budget and make the adjustments rather than nickel-diming it right now tonight. Thank you very much.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. Alderman O'Brien, I want to clarify that I'm not touching the $11,000 for the firefighters. That's staying. I'm just adding $404,617 for the rest of the affiliated. I have not touched. My first motion was to remove them, and I apologize for that because I was going to add it as a total. But I'm not touching that 11,000. I want to be very, very clear because I 100% agree with you that they do in fact deserve it, but I think all of our unaffiliated deserve it as well. So I apologize for my comment at the beginning. The reason I was taking it out was because I was going to add the totality in. So I am not touching the firefighters, and I apologize if that was
Madam President, may I and kindly respond to Alderman Clee? Yeah, what was said in the beginning left a very sour taste in my mouth. You know, I was a guy just bringing up a family. I worked 2 jobs. I should only have worked 1. But why did I have to work 2 jobs to make the difference of steak and hamburger for my kids? It wasn't a swimming pool or a summer cottage. And you should have seen the cars we all drove. But I'll follow my sword for Alderman Clee. I understand kind of now what you're doing. But after 35 years of getting kicked around,
Yes.
has left a very bad taste in my mouth. And so I'll take you at your aldermanic honor, to which I deeply respect, and I'll back off, as a good Irishman finds regret to do, but I'll back off. And whoa, if the money doesn't get added.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Alderman Lopez.
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
You're good. Alderman Gregg.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I appreciate each of my colleagues, and whether or not we went through the budget system, I think as we continue to scrutinize this, I welcome the ideas tonight. So I think it's great. This has been a very confusing process, and I hope that we can correct that going forward. But based on what we have now, whether or not we did what we could in committee, it's good to hear added ideas tonight. So I think that that is a positive thing. And a second thing, Alderman Clee just cleared up for me, so thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Just through you to CFO Enright, I know that the county budget was changed a couple days ago, and it came down significantly. I actually know that Alderman Gregg was part of that. Do we have a new potential tax rate based on the county decrease?
I apologize. Don Enright, CFO. I do not have that figure at this given moment. I apologize.
Alderman Morgan.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to CFO Enright. What, if we were to pass this amendment, what would this cost the average taxpayer? This $415,000 for our unaffiliated?
Well, from a budget perspective, Don Enright, CFO. From a budget perspective, $2.8 million would increase the budget by 1%. So this is significantly less than the $2.8 million. So you're looking at approximately 0.10% increase on the budget. And if you calculated something like that out, you're probably looking at less than $50 on the average taxpayer.
Okay. Clarification, if I may. So thank you for that number. So we're talking about adding $50 on average, each taxpayer, of a difference for some people, thousands of dollars a year for their being able to pay their Penachuk bill, being able to pay their rising gas prices, being able to get to and from work. So I just want to make sure that we all heard that number very clearly. It's about $50 on average per resident. Thank you.
Alderman Moran.
One of the things they do at the State House is they have people come to the well, which is the front of the room, and say, if you vote for this, this will happen. And then the other party says, and if you vote no for this, this will happen. I'd like Alderman Clee to please do the same. Could you tell me if I vote yes, this will happen, and if I vote no, that will happen?
Do you have others? I can answer later.
No, no one else has raised their hand.
Thank you.
Alderman Ravan, it's not quite the same as up in the State House that we save it for. The truth is, if we vote for this, as CFO Enright mentioned, it could cost the taxpayers approximately $50 per year to help these. If we don't do it, as Alderman Morgan had stated, these people, these unaffiliated, we promised them a year ago that we would do this, and now we're looking at $1,000. Some people gave up maybe moving on to another job because they love this job and they realize that they're going to get a pay raise, and now we've just said to them, no, we pulled the carpet out from underneath them. We could potentially lose people. We've broken a promise. There's a lot of things that I don't know much more what to say to you, but I do respect and understand what you're asking. But we're going to hurt our employees and morale and being able to retain them and so on, and possibly even being able to hire others. So I think it has far-reaching. And as a person who's struggling right now to pay my taxes, every dollar counts. I understand that. I lost 3/4 of my income when my husband died. So I truly get every penny counts. And, I am hoping that my other colleagues, as was mentioned, may propose things that could reduce the budget. That would be wonderful. However, right now, I'm looking at our affiliated employees and the way that they are looking at us, saying, do we matter to you? Today, I was just at the building permits. We've got some hardworking people who put up with people such as myself and are like, I don't understand this. Please explain it to me over and over again. So yes, I want to make sure we take care of them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. I want to make a couple things clear. We did not do this. This was not our budget. The budget was given to us by the mayor. We haven't even passed it yet. This is still the mayor's budget. He was the one who took them out of the budget, not us. You all voted for it last year to give them the raise. I probably would have done half this year and half next year, so it wouldn't be that big of a hit on the budget. But let's make that clear. We didn't do anything. We're trying to fix the mistake here. So let's get that clear. And I'm through you, Madam President, I'd like to ask CFO Enright a question. At an 8% tax increase, at the price of the average home, what the assessed value is, which I would say is $550,000 to maybe $600,000, what would be the taxes increase on that, the dollar amount?
I'd be happy to, may I? Thank
Yes.
you, Madam President. Dawn Enright, CFO. I'd be happy to calculate that for you. I haven't calculated that out, but I'd happy to do that while we're answering
Okay,
other
and
questions.
may I ask another question?
Yes.
And then I'd like to go between $700,000 to $800,000, because those are basically your house prices here, most of them. Well, no, I'm saying that there is another group, and the home basically are about $500,000 to $600,000 the average. Can you do another one? $400,000 to $500,000, thank you. So this way we can kind of cover the different levels of homes. But I'm going to say, actually, most of the homes in the city have been selling around in the $500,000 range. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. The motion on the floor is Alderman Clee's motion?
It's amended, strike out, so it's no longer struck out.
Yeah, okay. All right, so seeing no more discussion, Alderman Dow.
Her motion is to amend the goldenrod
Yes.
copy that's on the floor now.
Yeah, to add back the stricken paragraph.
Yes, yes, that
Okay.
is.
And then we, as the Utah Corporation Council, then we'd have to then approve the modified goldenrod copy, correct?
Whether it passes or doesn't pass, that brings forward the motion that you made to approve an amendment in accordance with the goldenrod copy as it has or has not been further amended.
Okay. So you've heard the motion. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
No.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
No.
Alderman Senate.
No.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Alderman Lopez,
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
9 yeas, 4 nays.
that motion carries. Any other motions?
Well, the motion now would be to, it's the one Alderman Dow made has been amended, so that's available for discussion at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to CFO Enright, with the passage of the amendment that we just made, can you refresh our memory and let me know now what the net change is enacted by the goldenrod copy?
Thank you,
CFO
Madam
Enright.
President. Don Enright, CFO. So at this given moment, adding the $404,617 to the goldenrod gives you a overall increase from the proposed budget of $67,615.
Follow-up?
Yes.
And prior, we had a decrease, is that correct? 160?
CFO Enright.
Yeah.
Yes, we did have a decrease.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Could you repeat the motion?
I was going to say, I don't know what the motion is.
The motion on the floor is to approve the amended goldenrod copy. It was originally mentioned in my motion to add $404,617.
Okay. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee,
Yes.
Alderman Ravan,
Yes?
Alderman Tebow,
No.
Alderman O'Brien,
Yes.
Alderman Gregg,
Yes.
Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan,
No.
Alderman Senate,
No.
Alderman Johnson,
No.
Alderwoman Kelly,
Yes.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Alderman Lopez,
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
9 yeas, 4 nays.
and that motion carries. Alderman Johnson.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to reduce administrative services by $1 million from the bottom line, the total expenditures.
Okay, you've heard the motion.
Just a question.
Alderman Dowd.
Should we introduce the final motion and then vote on the final motion? I mean, make amendments to the final motion?
Oh, that's probably true. We just amended.
Because,
Probably the better way to do it.
Yeah.
what? I didn't hear the answer.
Said yes.
That would be the better way to do it.
All right, so I should probably read my
Script.
motion before we stop making amendments to the final budget.
She has to remove the motion.
Can you withdraw your motion from?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Thank you. Alderman Dowd.
I'd like to make a motion to amend R 26028 by replacing it with the amended goldenrod copy with amendments made by the Budget Review Committee and the motions this evening by roll call.
Just did that motion.
We already did.
We just
We
did
did that
that.
one.
Now you have to
You're
vote.
now up.
I'm sorry, you're right. Motion for final passage of R 26026 as amended by roll
028.
call.
Yeah.
28.
Okay.
Go by
So
class.
the motion is for final passage as amended. Okay.
Now you can make motions.
Okay,
Alderman
thank you.
Johnson.
I'd like to make a motion to subtract administrative services, the total expenditures by $1 million.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And we had mentioned this in the Budget Committee, that I wasn't one that was a fan of the bottom line, especially when it wasn't the education, because we don't obviously can do line items for education. And that being said, I'm still, at this juncture, I am not voting for this budget. Yes, so just, we'll see what the amendments bring. But this 1 million, I mean, I just don't love leaving it up to the division to try to cut it. More so because then they could cut something that maybe we think we need more than they think they need. So I think if we have control of that, why don't we make the decision to cut the stuff out ourselves? That's how I look at it. You know, because then we're leaving it too much wide open, and I just don't love that kind of, that's why I've been so opposed half the time to the BOE cutting, you know, large amounts, 2 million, 4 million, because we have no insight. That's why I asked Dr. Andrade last week, what would they cut, you know, if 4 million came out of their budget? And, you know, one of a few things he mentioned was athletics, and I was like, I don't want to cut that. So not having control of it, it's almost a bonus for us, because we are able to make those decisions. That's what we're put here for. So I don't know why we can't look at that. So I'm not saying that we couldn't cut 1.5 somewhere out of this. I'm just saying I would prefer to see it in a line item. And again, I'm not just saying any line item you pick I'm going to vote for, but I would rather see it line item, but that's just my opinion on it.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, I believe when this came up during the Budget Review Committee, which didn't pass, it was stated that if you cut the $1 million out of this account, that the Arlington Street, and I may be wrong, and I can be corrected if somebody's here that can answer, the Arlington Street Community Center will be closed, and if so, we'll owe over $1 million back to the federal government for that loan.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to respond to that because I was the one in committee who had brought up the Arlington Street Community Center. I just wanted to be clear that I didn't float that or mention that as a certainty. I certainly don't have the insight that the department heads would. I put that out there as a what if, because with a bottom line cut, we don't know ultimately where the departmental cuts will come. And I simply wanted to propose that, Alderman Dowd, as sort of a potential unforeseen consequence of doing this. The fact that we have a grant that operates as a forgivable loan for the Arlington Street Community Center, that is true. And if we do not operate that facility as intended for the duration of that grant loan, then we would be on the hook to pay it back. But not a certainty, but a possibility for certain. Thank you.
Next, I have Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you very much. I'll support the motion. I do feel that we could leave it up to the division directors. I think it's, you know, that's why we have them in those positions to make those hard decisions. And I think that a cut of this size, I think, gets things going in the right direction, because as it stands now, this budget is more than 6% of an increase over last year, and a 7 to 8% or 8% tax increase for the residents is just way, way too much to stomach. So I'll support that motion. Thanks.
Alderman Johnson, then
Thank
Alderman
you.
Tebow.
The difference in the budget was $3,199,809. It's a 16.47% increase. And now that's a big increase. And so the reason I'm saying the bottom line, the total, is let the division directors, I could be cutting the wrong line item. That's what their division directors, they did the budget. They should know where they can make the reductions in this budget. As much as I would like to pay my affiliated employees, the non-affiliated, I can't present a budget like this to the taxpayers either, at an 8% right now increase. It's just impossible. You know, everybody on this board talks about inflation, the cost of everything rising. Do you imagine right before Christmas time getting that tax bill, another $400 or $500 going up in your tax bill? I mean, that's a lot, especially people on fixed incomes. So I'm trying to make an effort here to try to reduce this budget. And I really don't feel that anybody's going to go along with me, because they haven't gone along with me before with smaller cuts. So I'm putting my best foot forward so we can give the non-affiliates that increase. And, you know, it got to take several $1 million out of this budget. And some of the directors maybe shouldn't have $9,000 raises or $7,000 raises. Thank you.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. I mean, I think it's the easy way out just to say, hey, take out $1 million. Oh, I tried to take out $1 million. No one listened to me. It's a lot easier if you do something specific, there's more chance that people might say, oh, yeah, you're right. We really don't need to do that. Let's all vote for that. If you just do a blanket $1 million, most people aren't going to, because they don't trust that it's going to come out to the right place. So if you want your cut to actually have a better chance to pass, I think it's better to look at the line items. Otherwise, I can just, like I said it last week, oh, let's cut $5 million out of the library. Okay, I did my job. I tried. Taxpayers, I tried. No one listened to me, right? Of course, I'm not going to do that because we're trying to do it in a responsible way for all the departments. Director Cummings is on the phone. Is it possible for me to ask through the president a question to Tim Cummings? So, one, he could easily turn around with this $1 million and say, I'm going to cut 3 bodies. So we're saying we're upset because we're not going to pay unaffiliated or affiliated, but we want him to cut 3 bodies out of his department. So we're going to send 3 people walking, but we're afraid we want to pay, like, what would we rather want? Like, would we want to have people fired, or would we want to pay people raises that have been put out of the budget? So I don't know, but I'd like to ask Director Cummings, what would he do with that kind of cut? And be honest, I mean, it's easy to say, well, I'd cut people, but honestly, look at your budget. What would you cut? I would hope that everybody has a tiny bit of fluff in their budget that if we came back and said, cut something, you'd be able to cut something.
Director Cummings?
Yes, good evening, Madam President. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. For the record, Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. A couple points here. One, I don't believe I could, in good consciousness, this evening, tell you exactly what I would cut. Hearing that just now for the first time, but I would say it would be a lot more than 3 positions that I heard. No one makes salaries of like $300,000, so it would be 10 times that. With that being said, I also want to just comment that on 2 points. Most of our budgets are contractually driven, so something like 75 to 80% of the budgets have already spoken for. And then secondly, relative to fluff, we run pretty lean as it is. And so certainly I understand that the budget's going up. Inflation is driving a lot of that. When I hear the budget's going up 6%, and I know inflation is going up somewhere in the realm of 4 or 5%, and we're just trying to provide the same level of services, I don't think we are increasing the budget all that dramatically. So I respectfully submit that to you, but I don't think that we could cut the quote-unquote fluff because we run lean as it is. But I certainly understand the sentiments being expressed right now, and certainly the hard task that you have in front of you. Thank you.
Alderman Tebow?
Yeah, just to follow up, thank you, Director Cummings, for that. And 3 people was, obviously, I don't think they make that much money. I was just throwing that out as just a number. So my follow-up question to you is, you mentioned there's some things you just can't cut contractually. Can you just mention a few of those things that you just aren't allowed to cut for whatever reason out of administrative services?
Sure. If I may, Madam President. Tim
Director
Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. Yes, thank you, Madam President. I would say the biggest driver, or one of the biggest drivers in the quote-unquote administrative services budget is insurance. And in particular, the workers' compensation insurance, which we have a statutory obligation to provide a certain level of service that was dictated to us by Concord, and we are happily doing that, but that is driving a double-digit increase in the admin services budget, and that is just a reality. So that I would point to as probably one of the bigger drivers in the budget.
Thank you.
Can I answer this a little bit?
Mayor?
Well, if you look at administrative services, the main expense is in the risk department. Now, this is insurance. As we discussed during the public hearing, insurance policies and claims, not medical, so this is in administrative services, is up 19.5% or $1.5 million. We were talking about the firefighters and, you know, how we want to make sure they're taken care of. Well, one issue that is driving major increases here is the policy, and I agree with the policy, but the policy is that, adopted at the state level, is that when a firefighter or a retired firefighter gets cancer, it is presumed that that is a work-related injury, whereas before, the firefighter had to prove through medical evidence that it was work-related. Now it's assumed. That is resulting in a projected significant increase in workers' comp insurance. Again, I think this is something, you know, I'm glad the state did it. I think there are risks in that job that health risks that other employees don't encounter. There's PFAS in the suits that firefighters wear to protect them from the heat. And so what do you propose we do? You know, not insure some of this, or you know, not insure the vehicles? Where do you suggest we would get $1 million on the risk budget? That's why Alderman Tebow is saying you've got to designate. It's so easy to say, oh, cut $1 million. Yeah, well, you've got to say what you want to cut. I mean, some of this stuff, you know, you have to have some concept of what it is that's in there. It's just not so easy to cut $1 million. Well, you know, where? The community center plus we don't insure the vehicles? You know, what would we do? There aren't even enough employees there to get $1 million. So this is you know, it's the risk budget that really is the driver of this whole thing.
Alderman Lopez?
Question through the president to the mayor.
Yes.
While you did identify the risk as the primary area of increase, weren't other departments or programs moved under this budget as well, administrative services?
Well, that's another thing. So I'll let Director Cummings answer that part, because he's got the specific numbers on that.
That's right, if I may, Madam President.
Yes.
Yes, Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services, and not to take too much time this evening, but it is not fair to do an apples-to-apples comparison from last year to this year with the Administrative Services budget, because we moved some monies that were in other departments' budgets or other divisions' budgets into admin services, specifically the Buildings and Grounds Department, with both some monies out of DPW and library. And so that wouldn't be a net gain to the budget. It's just a transferring from one division to the other, which also adds another layer of complication. Thank you.
Next, I have Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. That was actually kind of the point that I wanted to make as well. And if I remember correctly, it was and please, Director Cummings, tell me if I'm wrong here, but it was technically a net zero type of thing. So we moved it out of library to your department. We moved it out of DPW to your department. Not at an additional cost. Am I correct on that, if I may, Madam President?
Mm-hmm.
Director Cummings?
If I may, Madam President,
Yes.
Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services, thank you. I can definitely say that for the library, Alderwoman Clee. I would need to double check on the DPW front. It may be a little additional monies there, but it's a de minimis amount.
Just a quick follow-up. That's fine, but I think I shouldn't have said that it was truly a net zero, but my point is, if it had remained in their budget, it would have been whatever X dollars are, and we just moved the process of that under your department. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct, yes.
Okay, thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. To the motion at hand, I just want to reiterate a point that I made in committee when this came up. And there's a lot of if-then to it, but if we pass a budget tonight, say as it stands right now, then tomorrow if somebody asks me what's in the budget, I can tell them. One of the frustrating parts about the budget process every year is that, you know, were there to be a cut or an addition made to the education budget, I kind of have to look a constituent in the eye and say, oh, I don't know. You know, I don't know where that cut's going to come from. Again, I reiterated in committee that, you know, here we have the ability to avoid that. If we were to pass this amendment, and then if subsequently we passed this budget, and tomorrow if somebody asked me about the budget, I can show them most of a document, but then I can say, well, you know, less $1 million from administrative services, and I don't know what that's going to look like. And where we have so many roundtable discussions in this chamber about clarity and transparency and information, that's not something I feel comfortable doing. Not so much the fact that it's $1 million cut. Consider any cut that somebody can make with specificity. But to just broadly cut something and not be able to know tomorrow, if this were to pass, what that looks like, that's troublesome for me. And I would rather, if a budget is going to pass tonight, we know what's in that document. Even with a dozen papers floating around the desk with amendments and everything, we at least know, well, we cut this department, we cut this position, it amounts to X, Y, and Z amount of dollars. I have a strong preference for that. I can't in good conscience support a bottom line. Thank you.
Alderman Morgan.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm curious through you to Director Cummings. So $1 million could be taken out of miscellaneous claims, workers' compensation claims, general liability claims, property claims, automobile claims, long-term disability claims. All of these are guesstimates, best guesses. Are these conservative guesses or not? And is there any room to move any of these, even if it's $500,000?
Director Cummings.
Yes, thank you. Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. I would say that they are conservative estimates that I know our risk manager spends a lot of time developing. I would not at this time recommend reducing it, as I think it would put the city in a difficult position. Thank you.
All set, Alderman Morgan?
No, thank you for allowing me a pause. Specifically, my question is on worker compensation claims. That went up $1,100,000. Can you speak to that, please?
Yes, I'd be happy to, if I may, Madam President.
Yes.
Thank you. Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. So again, as the mayor alluded to just a moment ago, and as I started my comments at the very beginning of this amendment conversation, we were directed a year or two ago by the state of New Hampshire to increase how we cover workers' compensation for firefighters, and particularly take on more workers' compensation claims than we previously had covered. And that has caused the budget to increase not only last year, but again this year. In fact, what we realized is we didn't increase the budget enough last year because we being conservative, underestimated what was necessary. And so this is a newer policy that was put into place. We are just starting to understand the implications of it, but we certainly understand what we need to do, and we are trying to follow through on the statutory obligation that we have.
Set. You all set, Alderman Morgan?
Yes, sorry.
Alderman Kelly.
So I believe I asked this question at committee, and I want to just ask it again, because so if we are passing the budget, we have line item specificity and everything else. If we do a bottom line cut, can we pass the budget without knowing what those line items are going to be?
Sure you can.
You can. I would say some people may not think it's the wise thing to do, but you can.
Thank you.
Okay. The motion before us is to cut $1 million from the administrative services budget. Seeing no further discussion, will the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
No.
Alderman Ravan.
No.
Alderman Tebow.
No.
Alderman O'Brien.
No.
Alderman Gregg.
No.
Alderman Dowd.
No.
Alderman Sullivan.
No.
Alderman Senate.
No.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
No.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
No.
Alderman Wilshire.
No.
2 yeas, 11 nays.
That motion fails. Alderman Johnson.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to eliminate the new position for Superintendent of Recreation and a 2 groundsman position for the parks in DPW.
You've heard the motion. Discussion. Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. Again, we're looking to cut, I guess they're all new positions, correct? Yeah, I mean, I guess if they're new positions, I'm not going to really comment on that. I just, the only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to cut people's jobs to get other people paid. It doesn't make any sense. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. But in this case, they're new, so I'm not going to, I don't need to comment on that at the moment.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you. If I may ask the maker of the motion, what is the dollar amount for that?
There was no dollar amount. I didn't get a dollar amount.
Got it. How do we know what to cut?
Well, yeah.
I couldn't find the dollar
Alderman
amount.
Clee.
Thank you. Ms. Enright, would you, if I may ask, Madam President, Ms. Enright, would we know what the cost of cutting those positions, because they're obviously in the budget, so to cut those positions, there's got to be a dollar amount to come out. There's got to be a corresponding dollar amount, otherwise we don't know what we're cutting or saving.
I would say the motion is not in order. You're trying to adopt a budget. Yet the whole idea is numbers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so I'm being told the motion is not in order.
Thank you.
Alderman Dowd.
I was just going to add that I believe that half of each of those 2 maintenance positions were being covered under the TIF, so
Yes.
it's, do they end up hiring one person all under the TIF? I don't know. So there's a lot of ambiguity with what we were trying to do.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes, because I listened to it the other night again to refresh my memory, and there were 3 groundsman position, I believe. 1 was TIF, and 2 were not. Because there was a correction. A couple times, Director Photo made a correction.
3 at the pause.
Did we lose Zoom?
I could not find the dollar amount in the budget.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you. As Attorney Bolton pointed out, this doesn't have dollars, and therefore it's not in order, but just for future comment on this, it's not just salaries. We'd be looking at benefits and everything. And I do believe that, as per Alderman Dowd, two of those positions, I believe, were out of the TIF to work along the riverfront and so on, so.
One.
Director Hannum?
Yes, sorry, I cut out a little bit, but I will just confirm that half of each of those groundskeeper positions will be paid for from the riverfront TIF. We've added a lot of extra duties with the new parks, and so it seemed like a good use of resources to get 2 people for the price of 1 for both the Parks Department and for the riverfront.
Thank you. Are we waiting for numbers? Is that it?
Or a motion.
No, the motion isn't in order.
The final passage motion.
Okay.
So amendments, proper amendments are in order, and anything else.
Alderman Johnson?
Yes, did the CFO and Wright ever come up with the figures for the taxes? At 8% on the different value of
If I
homes?
may.
Yes.
John Enright, CFO. I apologize, I'm going to have to calculate those numbers for you after the meeting. I'm having to keep up with the meeting here, and I would like to get the county number to be able to give a better estimate.
Alderman Johnson?
Well, that doesn't do us any good if we're looking to see what the cost of the tax is going to go up at 8% on the homes. This way, you get an idea of how much everybody's tax bill's going to go up. Because it's not just this, it's going to carry
If I may.
December into next year.
John Enright,
First and second.
CFO. We're actually looking at the budget. We are not looking at what the tax actually is, because there are components that we have absolutely no control over. As was stated earlier, the county tax, we have no control over that, and there are other components at the tax rate setting time that we do not know at this given time. So to give you an exact amount would not be prudent on our part. We're talking about the budget and the increase on the budget.
Alderman Johnson?
I'm just asking for the city portion, not the county, just what the city portion's going to be. That's going to be the hit from the city of Nashua. That's okay. We're good. I don't expect anything.
Alderman Clee?
I have nothing. I've said what I had to say, but thank
Okay.
you, Madam President.
And I had Alderman Senate.
Alderman Clee had my question on the previous
Okay,
motion.
Alderwoman Kelly?
I would like to make a motion. Department 150, budget line item 181302, to reduce that line item by $900,000, and I'd like to speak to it.
How much was that? I apologize.
Huh?
I didn't hear the amount.
900,000.
900, okay.
Alderwoman Kelly?
In full transparency, I tried to make this motion at the budget wrap-up. It was around the body cams. I wanted a little bit more clarity on that. Not sure that I got a full amount of clarity on it. So I wanted to bring it up again to ask my questions. So we're looking, we just went up $404,000. I think I asked, and I don't know if there's someone here from the police department, is this a yearly cost? Because our yearly cost coming up to this was only about $250,000 to $300,000. So are we
Alderman Dowd
budgeting-
might have an answer for you.
Yeah, either Alderman Wiltshire or I can answer, because we were there for all the discussions at the commissioners' meeting.
Sure.
We have body cameras. They are at the end of their contract. They are not efficient enough to do what they're supposed to do, and that was a lot of discussion. They're getting new ones. The reason it's in the budget and not a capital expenditure is because it's a lease. And the $900,000 is only the first year cost, not the subsequent yearly cost, which is far less. because the cameras come with a bunch of other equipment. They have to record all of the body camera footage so that if it had, when something went to court,
I'm not looking for a description of what the body cams do. I approved it the first time around. I want to know, is it 900,000 this year and then 900,000 next year?
No.
Like, we don't know what the additional costs are going to be, because 900,000 is a 400% increase in this line item. And is there a way to partial fund it so that we can also put back in affiliates? I feel like I'm not asking you to argue to me whether or not we need body cams. I'm trying to figure out, is this a one-time fee, and then what is the fees after that?
I don't think there's anybody on from the police department, but
Madam President, Tim Cummings here. I can certainly speak to the question.
Director Cummings?
Thank you. Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services. I can say it's a reoccurring cost. It is not at the $900,000 level after the first year of implementation. It would drop down. It would drop down in the range to, between $600,000 and $700,000, but it would be a year-over-year cost in and around that range. Now, everything I'm saying as well should be noted that we are not under contract with anyone. We still have to go out for an RFP, so these are estimates, but it gives you an understanding or an order of magnitude of what the potential year-over-year budget cost would be. Thank you.
So to clarify, it goes up 400% this year, and if you're right there, it's about 200% every year after that, from where we are currently.
Director Cummings?
Yes, thank you. I haven't done the math like that because it's actually would be a reduction in the budget year over year, because after the first year, that line item would be absorbed into the base budget, and then the incremental cost would actually be a reduction. But you could see that line item consistently be in that $600,000 to $800,000 range year over year moving forward.
So my number was predicated on, I believe in the book, I don't have the book in front of me right now, but about $247,000 is what it costs us right now. So from what our current contract is, it is a 400% increase this year and 200% each year after. Around, am I right?
Yeah, and if I may, Madam President, and
Yes.
I believe thank you, again, Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services, and I believe we have budgeted something like $600,000, and so it would be that incremental cost on top of it. And to your point, this first year, or the implementation year, it's going to be about $900,000, and then year over year going forward, it would be about half that, if that's the way you wanted to look at it, yes.
Thank you.
Alderman Tebow?
Thank you, Madam President. So Deputy Police Chief Kenny was here in one of our budget meetings, and he clearly said some of that first cost is not only the first year, but it's also because they have to overlap the services. So that's part of it, right? And they have to back up and make sure they store everything they currently have while they're implementing the new ones at the same time. He also said that it's ending the contract of the old one, and if he went with the old service that we're doing now, the increase would be almost as much as, not the first year, but it would be almost as much as what it would be subsequent years. So it would be going up regardless of whether we stayed with this company or not, because the contract was up. So that was clearly stated in one of our budget meetings. So that's why the cost is so much. But I will not be voting to take the body cam money out of the budget.
Further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
No.
Alderman Ravan.
No.
Alderman Tebow.
No.
Alderman O'Brien.
No.
Alderman Gregg.
No.
Alderman Dowd.
no.
Alderman Sullivan.
No.
Alderman Senate.
No.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
No.
Alderman Lopez.
No.
Alderman Wilshire.
No.
1 yea, 12 nays.
That motion fails. Motion before us is for final passage as amended. Seeing no further discussion, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee,
Yes.
Alderman Ravan,
Yes?
Alderman Tebow,
No.
Alderman O'Brien,
Yes.
Alderman Gregg,
No.
Alderman Dowd,
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan,
No.
Alderman Senate,
No.
Alderman Johnson,
No.
Alderwoman Kelly,
No.
Alderman Morgan,
Yes.
Alderman Lopez,
No.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
6 yeas, 7 nays.
that motion fails. Okay. Now we,
You refer?
no.
No.
You want me to send this back to budget?
We go with the mayor's budget then,
Can I
is that
just
correct?
speak to that?
Alderman Lopez.
It was pointed out to us earlier tonight that we could wait until August 1st legally. It was also pointed out to us that if we don't pass certain elements in the budget, then some of the contracts that we were hoping to pass would also take effect. Through the president to the mayor, is that the case?
Well, I think we should ask Attorney Bolton, but I think you could pass a continuing resolution which would authorize spending at the same levels that we have now. I mean, what do you think, Attorney Bolton?
Well, according to the charter, you have to pass a budget by the first day of the second month of the fiscal year, so that would be August 1st. There are other laws in place, however. So you have to, if you get a bill that you're required to pay for like a workers' compensation claim, you've got to have the money authorized to pay it. We've got a bunch of collective bargaining agreements that require that require increases in compensation beginning July 1. If the following Thursday, people aren't getting that, we're in violation and we can be fined. So probably you want to do something to authorize all of those things before July 1st gets here. Now, what all those are will take some doing to figure out. You can say in a continuing resolution that you'll fund at the same rate as last year, ongoing expenses. That doesn't help you with these collective bargaining agreements which call for increases in compensation beginning July 1st. So there are things that can be done, but there is a quagmire potential existing.
Alderman Dowd, and then Alderman Johnson.
Yeah, my main concern is the Board of Education portion of the budget, because they start school September 1st. They can't wait till late August to hire people or get their spending understood. And I don't even know if a continuing resolution covers their expenditures because of the increases that we've discussed during the budget season. So I would suggest that we have Dr. Andrade give us an overview, or Mr. Gray, as to how this might impact them.
You're talking about if we don't pass a budget until August 1st?
If we don't pass the budget.
If they're willing to come up and talk about it, that's fine.
All right. For the record, Crystal DeGray, COO, School District. Can I ask for clarity, maybe from corporate counsel? So if a budget is not approved, do we fall into a default budget technically July 1st?
Not until after August 1st.
So, okay, so we currently have, to to the point that was raised, several collective bargaining units that are under contract. There would be several positions related to special education, some of our teaching positions, that we wouldn't be able to go ahead and hire until the budget is actually 100% approved. So this would definitely put our staffing, and probably from a legality standpoint, some of the items that need to be legally obligated in IEPs at risk. So I would think your legal line will drastically increase.
No, I think you covered a lot of it. Mario Andrade, Superintendent of Schools. My other concern would be, again, without more advice from corporate counsel on what our budget would actually look like on July 1st. We do run extended school year.
It would look like you're not authorized to spend a penny.
So, right, and therefore, we actually run summer school, which is extended school year for our special education students, which we're legally obligated through their students' IEPs, which would be, we would be out of compliance for those services. So to Mr. Gray's point, the month of July would actually not exist for us, and we start summer school July 6th.
Alderman Johnson?
Thank you. How did we do it back in 2002 when yourself, Madam President, and council?
You did illegal things.
We did, but the city still ran and the school district still ran.
Money got expended illegally.
Well, you know, it happened back then. The budget didn't get passed till October.
I'm opposed
It was,
to doing it
was
that
one
way.
of those years that the budget didn't, because we were at a standstill. But I'm hearing that it's illegal, but it happened, and you were on the board with me.
Yes, and I protested that. I pointed out it was illegal, and it hasn't gotten any more legal now than it was then.
But
Can
somehow the
I
city
make a
ran.
suggestion, Madam President?
Yeah. Mayor?
Well, on this subject of illegality, I think there's a question of whether people who spend money are personally liable for spending money that's not legal, but putting that aside. The budget as amended requires 10 votes because you have raised line items within the budget.
Excuse me, Mayor?
Yeah.
It requires 2/3 of those present voting.
2/3 of those present voting because you've raised line items. If all of the additions were deleted and only the reductions were left in place, it would then only take a majority, correct? Alderman Bolton? Or, excuse me, former Alderman Bolton and City Attorney Bolton.
That would be correct.
So if you were to remove all the additions, leave the reductions in place, you could pass this with a majority.
Well, yes, you would need a majority, but that's, the previous vote didn't have a majority.
Well, maybe if the
I don't
budget
know
were
whether
lower, maybe you'd get a majority. There are also people that aren't here, but
Alderman Dowd?
Just for clarification, are you saying that if we pass the budget the mayor gave us, we only need a majority?
Yes.
And everything else that happened through the budget season would not exist?
Well, it depends what you say in the motion. The mayor's proposal was just to essentially delete all the increases that you've made by amendment and keep in the reductions. But you could take out the reductions and take out the additions, or you could do some combination. But if there's any single line that has increased over the mayor's originally proposed budget, then it requires 2/3 of those present and voting.
so, the point I'm making is that you've made certain reductions. If you want to leave those in place, that doesn't alter the votes needed. You can still pass a reduced budget with a majority. And if you were to delete the additions, leaving the reductions in place, so there were no line items that actually went up, only some line items were reduced, you could pass the budget with a majority.
But just follow up.
Alderman Dowd.
Well, first of all, I, for one, would not want to be represented of a board of aldermen that's spending money illegally.
Right.
You know, I don't care what they did years ago. They were wrong. And we certainly don't want to testify an open thing that we're going to do things that are illegal. I mean, for God's sake, you know, we'll have to add half the more staff to the corporation council. So
What you would be doing until you got to August 1st would not be illegal. But if anybody in the city spent money, what they were doing would be illegal.
does that include what we just heard from the school department? But they have to cancel it. No, they can't. They can't cancel summer school because it's mandate. Somebody else mandated it without giving us any money, which is pretty
That would be
typical.
the quagmire I was speaking of earlier.
Yeah.
Alderman Kelly.
So if we were to entertain what the mayor is discussing, does that include everything that we did before we even got here? Because there were a number of additions, including buildings, built for, what is that, school buildings, we added 200,000, we added buildings for the fire to make that maintenance whole, 75,000. I think those are the only
It
additions.
would
that
have to
I see.
include everything. It would have
All
to
those would
include
go
everything.
away.
Yes. You could make
Any
no,
additions.
What was the point of the budget?
the other,
Have to include any additions.
no additions. Or pass the budget as you propose it, you just need 2/3, but you don't have, you know, that doesn't exist at the moment.
Madam President,
Alderman Clee.
the 2/3 with the people that are here, is that 9? Is that correct? We would need 9,
You would need 9 of the 13.
9 of the 13. Okay, thank you. And we currently only have 6.
What's the board's pleasure?
Madam President?
Director Cummings.
Yes, and I apologize. I just was hoping to get a clarification. There's the goldenrod as well, so could I understand what would happen relative to the goldenrod?
The goldenrod, only the reductions that were in the goldenrod would be included if you wanted to pass this with a majority now. Additions in the goldenrod would not be included if you want to pass this with a majority.
Thank
If
you.
if you increase anything, it requires 2/3.
I knew it. Knew it.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. The options that I see them as currently are we could either re-refer it to committee, or we could basically, as the mayor suggested, take a vote on the budget only with the reductions and not with the additions. Those are the two options that I see, because you had asked for what the pleasure of the board was, and I was just laying out the options as I see them.
Thank you. Alderman Clee.
There is a third as well, and that would be just passing the mayor's budget as proposed, correct?
There were unlimited things that you could do.
I know, but I'm just
You
saying,
have the number of
Yes,
votes
but that would only
required.
require a majority.
That would only require a
The proposed
majority,
budget
yeah.
requires only a majority.
yeah.
Alderman Morgan.
Madam President, if I may ask for a 5-minute recess for everyone to maybe think, go to the bathroom, have a snack.
Motion is for 5-minute recess. All those in favor?
If the majority of you don't get together and talk outside.
No?
That's what I was
Oh,
going
you
to
put tape over my mouth.
say. We shouldn't be competitive.
Yes.
There'll be
But we
cigars
still
out
need, we
in
still
the
need
parking lot.
a roll call, because we've got people
Right.
online.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, why not? We're screwing the pooch. Might
Roll
as
call,
well do
please,
this.
Mr. Clerk.
Alderman Clee,
Yes.
Alderman Ravan,
Yes.
Alderman Tebow,
No?
Alderman O'Brien.
5-minute recess.
5-minute recess.
Yeah, let's have a recess. Let's have a fist fight.
That would be it too, while you're at it.
Alderman Gregg,
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
I heard you, Paul.
Alderman Sullivan.
It's 3:45 in the morning over here, why not?
Alderman Senate.
For the benefit of Alderman Sullivan, yes.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
11 yeas, 2 nays.
that motion carries. We'll take 5 minutes.
Where's
Be back at 9:50.
I'm waiting for my text from my son. I mean, we're
He doesn't have any deferred maintenance to do the patching. That's why a leaky school.
Yeah, I've already had a meeting with a constituent who's going line item by line item, right?
Call the question?
We're still missing Trish.
That's why I called the committee.
We lost some people.
Who we lose? Mike and Trish.
Oh, and OB.
Oh. Okay, well. We said 5 minutes. It's been longer than 5 minutes, so we're.
Be a shame if we called the question.
What did you say? You called the question?
No, I didn't say that. We shouldn't do that.
There's no question pending.
Oh, not the budget thing?
There's no motion in front of us, right?
Not right
No.
now.
Nope. Okay.
Alderman O'Brien isn't here, I don't think.
Well, he got the same 5 minutes the rest of us got.
We could work on the rest of this.
Okay, so what does the board want to do? What do we want to do with this? Do we want to send it back to committee? Do we want to try to vote again? What do we want to do? Alderman Clee.
Just a question. If we send it back to committee, we still are going to probably miss the July 1st deadline. So I think
Yeah.
we need to have some kind of disposition here, now, and today, because if you send it there, then we're still going to, we can't expend the money, school board can't have those classes, and therefore we violate those terms. And, you know, some other aldermen, and I don't mean to pick on anybody, so I apologize if it sounds that way, because I'm not, you know, said, well, we've done it before. I don't want to violate any type of laws or something, so my preference is to vote on something. I'm sorry, I'm still for the one that we put forward to it. But I do understand my colleagues' anxiety over it, so I will let one of them make a choice. If not, I'm going to put a motion through that no one's going to like.
Well, if you have a motion, speak up.
My motion is to pass the mayor's budget. We only need a majority on that.
Discussion? Alderman Kelly.
No, I'm fine.
Wow. Alderman Lopez.
Through the board, or through the president and corporation council, we made a number of amendments to the mayor's initial proposed budget, including like number changes for insurance and withholdings. If we do as was proposed, do those get erased?
According to the motion just made, you're going back to the mayor's original budget as handed out.
Alderman Morgan?
Thank you. Further clarification, Corporation Counsel. So any typos and inaccuracies and everything that we saw, we would also be voting to pass on those.
Correct.
Thank you.
Alderman Senate?
Alderman Morgan took my question.
Okay. Alderman Tebow?
So now with the typos accepted, so we get 150,000 for interns and the mayor doesn't get paid? Is that what?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the budget we're going off of? I mean, nobody should be able to support some of those typos because
No.
it really changes some things.
Alderman Clee?
Thank you. Based on those comments, I'm going to withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other motions? Alderman Gregg?
I don't really have a motion. I was just going to say, I think the vote that we just heard reflects the frustration that we have with the budget process, the budget, not being able to see it. I have already, written to the CFO to try to figure out how we can make this better for next time because it was already in motion. But we have a budget that is by all means from all departments very tight. We have heard from all the departments. They came in, they pled their case. What we didn't have is, what does it look like if your department has 3%? What does it look like if your department has a 6% raise? And what if it's like full-blown whatever you want? While I think the budget has a lot of really good intentions with it, it's not really totally transparent because it's hard to pick those line items and say, well, this is what we're doing here, this is what we're doing there. And it's a tight budget. So my vote no reflected more of my frustration with the process and not being able to really look at this because it is tight. We don't have places that we know where we can cut. That being said, we also have places and we have a duty to this city and the employees to take care of it. And so at this point, knowing that we either kind of have to pass this or we're in non-compliance and we run the risk of a lot of different things, I think I would probably be willing to change my vote with the caveat that, I mean, I think our entire process is going to have to really kind of get an overhaul on how we do this.
Alderman Sullivan.
That's how hard you're looking.
Thank you. Through you to Corporation Counsel,
Yeah.
would tabling the budget do anything? Would that do anything?
Other than delay things, I can't think of anything it would accomplish. At some point, you would come back and be closer to deadlines.
Okay. Follow-up question would be, can you do a motion to reconsider and then basically just take the vote again and see
Yes.
if people have changed their mind?
Yes,
Yeah, we can do that.
You can do that. A motion to reconsider only takes a majority vote.
And it
It
has
should
to
be
be
made by someone who voted in the prevailing side, which would be someone who voted against it. But anytime there's any intervening business, you don't even need a motion to reconsider. Someone could make the same motion again. And I guess you had intervening business in the vote for recess. So the same motion to pass as amended would be in order.
Alderman Tebow, you had your hand up?
Yep, thank you. So, I mean, I came here tonight thinking that I was going to vote for this, although, you know, depending on what the amendments were and stuff. But I came here with the budget being decreased. And what we ended up with was a budget increased. And so I wasn't prepared to vote for a budget that increased tonight. I was happy with the decrease enough. Again, we could always go lower or try to find something. You know, Alderman Gregg said it when she said, you know, that it was tight, so it was hard to cut from areas. That's exactly the problem. Just because we can cut doesn't mean we should cut things that are so lean that it would hurt something by cutting it. You know, we don't want to cut teachers. We don't want to cut the Arlington Street Community Center. We don't want to cut athletics programs. So it is tight. So it's not always easy to just cut. And I've been through this process for the last 5 years. 4, 5, 6 million out of the budget. Most of that work's been done ahead of time. But we did have a decrease in the budget when we stepped in this chamber tonight, and that flipped to an increase. And I did not want to vote for an increase. And I don't have any personal animosity towards the way the budget was. Yes, I agree. It was not the right, the book was wrong. We had issues. We have lots of copies. I get it. But, you know, we've been doing this for a long, long time in the city, and it always hasn't been this bad, and yet we've been able to either mostly pass a budget every year. So I get that it was tough to get through, especially for new people who haven't been through the process, to try to understand all this different paperwork and shuffling around and trying to learn what line items are and this and that. I get it. The budget process is not easy. I was a newbie at one point too, but budgets were passed back then. So I don't have any animosity to vote no. I just voted no because I didn't want an increase in the budget from where we started. We had a decrease. That was good. Let's not increase it. That's where I stand for it.
Alderman Lopez.
Through the president to the mayor, do you anticipate us being able to pay down the tax rate at all with any unexpended revenues?
Yeah, that gets us to the 8%.
Well, we need surplus, but
That's what I meant.
I believe we will be able to do equal to what we did last year, which was 6 million. But, I mean, we don't have those numbers yet.
As a follow-up,
Yes.
we were told that the addition of supporting the unaffiliated employees would equal about $50 each. that also suggests that the cuts that were made would have been less than $50 each. So at this point, we are threatening to hold the budget up and not pay teachers and summer school over approximately $50 or less per resident. So as Alderman Gregg pointed out, I am not going to die on that hill either. And I'd rather vote to pass the budget.
Alderman Morgan?
Thank you, Madam President. Through you to Corporation Counsel, is it possible to pass a 3-month budget or 6-month? Basically, just take the numbers, cut it in half or in, quarters, and give the departments enough time to be able to come up with some additional adjustments?
Yes. Now, 6 months, probably not, because you have to get all your yearly budget together in time to get the tax rate set, in time to send out the bill that will be due in December. So you need the full fiscal year's budget for that. But could you pass a resolution authorizing expenditure over the next 30 days or over the next 60 days? Yes. I have no idea how to figure out what that dollar amount would be, or how you want to divide it up between school, police, fire, and every other big and small department.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly?
Thanks. I would like to make the motion to reconsider. I was on the no side, so I can make that, correct?
Yep.
Right now, just a motion
There's
for
no motion in front of
passage
us.
would be in order. You don't have to.
We don't
go
have to do
through
reconsideration.
Motion to pass.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm making.
Motion,
And I'll speak to it.
motion for final passage as amended?
I feel frustrated. It definitely was not a clean year. There were a lot of things that went, different things that came up. They changed, each time we looked at the book, we didn't have things in our book. I had 2 versions of our books. I get it was not a great year, but I don't think that we can sit in this chamber, and I actually always get frustrated when people vote against a budget because our city has to run. Our city absolutely has to run. So I think our job is to keep the city running, and I also did not want to vote for an increase. I think we spent a lot of time in the budget committee trying to come in with a decrease, and we found the places that felt appropriate, and we did come in with a decrease. But I'm not gonna die on that hill. I think we need to fund our schools and keep our city running.
Alderman Dowd?
Yeah, if we're going to vote again, I have one additional motion to save money that, can we do that now?
My God.
Sure. You're gonna move to amend? Love
What
it.
have you been waiting for?
Well, it's something that came in this afternoon from Dan Healy. It's not a heck of a lot of money, but it's something we should put in.
That would be in order.
That's in order.
All right, I'll make a motion to amend the budget by the amount of $10,083. City clerk was going to be digitizing records, and make a long story short, they're going to do it internally. So the line item which CFO Enright has should be $10,400, which is a reduction of $10,083.
Would it be appropriate to provide the revised total numbers or number?
If I may, just for
Yes, please.
clarification, you're looking for the total general fund appropriation number, the adjustment number,
Well,
which,
if Mr. Dowd has just made a motion to cut an additional 10,000 some odd number, so presumably he wants that amendment also to be made in the total.
certainly.
It's
So
out
the
of this-
increase would only be 57,532.
Yes.
Yes.
Give that number again.
If it gets accepted, then the increase will be 57,532 over the proposed budget.
You've heard the motion. Alderman Tebow?
Thanks, Madam President. So to Alderman Lopez's point about the $50 in the increase, that's not the only increase that was put into this budget. I mean, I made a one for 75,000, there's one for 200,000 for the deferred maintenance for the schools. So it's not just the 400,000, it's all the increases on top of each other. Now get us only a $50,000 increase in the budget, right? So if we didn't do any of those increases and looked at all the decreases we did, we would be much lower. It wouldn't be just $50. So, and again, it's $50 is a lot to some taxpayers, you know. I mean, I get a $7,000 tax bill, so I guess $50 just blends in. But for some people, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to me. I haven't even paid this month's tax bill yet, so I got to get on that. But it's, so yeah, as long as there's an increase, and when we came in today as a decrease, I will not support it.
Alderman Clee?
I want to speak to once this is, this motion has been acted on. My comment is on the amended budget, if I may.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
This is just for the 10,000, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
13 yeas, 0 nays.
and that motion carries.
It's final passage as amended.
Final passage as amended. Alderman Clee?
Thank you, Madam President. The comment I want to make is towards Alderman at Large Morgan's comment about going with a continuing resolution or something like that. And while I think that would be a good idea, I worked for the federal government and we lived years on, we used to call them continuing revolutions because that's what it felt like. We were constantly, and then at the end of the year, they would throw us our budget, you know, like about February or so. And we'd have to play catch up. It was very difficult. And the truth is, even if we did do this and we'd have to figure it out, we'd have to still do it by July 1st. So while I respect everybody who voted no the last time, and if you vote no, I will still respect you. Please understand that. I think we need to do, you know, our due diligence. But again, to Alderman Tebow's comments about, you know, we came into this budget with a $200,000 less than what we were planning on. I respect that, and I get that, and I'm going to have to face my constituents and the voters and so on as to why, but I also want to comment that I have voted no in the past. I voted last year no on the budget. So it's not, I don't just rubber stamp it, but I wanted equity in this budget. I would love to see it more, but cost of living is killing all of us. So thank you, Madam President.
Alderman Gregg?
Thank you, Madam President. I also wanted to say that we did come in with a cut, but we also came in with missing part of our employees that we should have taken care of. I think that was a miss. So while we, our numbers are looking a little bit different, I think that was just a huge miss that we have to also take into consideration that we did not take care of all the unaffiliated. So that's all.
Alderman Tebow?
Thank you. All I can say to that is where was that amendment in the Budget Committee? Like, she's part of the Budget Committee. We should have talked about it already, and we didn't. So I'm voting no.
Alderman Dowd?
Yeah, so we're going to be reconsidering, and I just want to ask a question first, Corporation Counsel.
Yes.
Could we make a motion to approve the non-affiliated pay raises as of September 1st?
Well, I mean, it takes a little more wording than that, but yes. And that would be a corresponding, you know, adjustment to the dollars.
Yeah, the reason I say that is that would bring us down below that 57,000, and it would be a slight reduction if we're trying to get the number of votes. I dislike doing that, but if it's going to get the budget passed, I'm willing to hear people talk about it before I make the motion.
Alderman Tebow?
Honestly, I think you probably have enough votes, even with my no at this point, my guess.
Alderman Clee?
Just a quick question, just for my clarification. So you're just talking about delaying it for 3 months? I say just.
2 months.
2 months, okay. July, August, right, yes, I apologize, thank you.
You forgot about Tom Toper.
Alderman O'Brien?
Yeah, I'm not going to support this because what I was concerned about as trying to resolve the issues in the past, I respect Alderman Dowd, but it would take away commitments that we made, and I don't back away.
I didn't make the motion, I just put it out there on the floor.
Alderman Morgan?
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate that, and the spirit of compromise, and everyone coming to meet in the middle. And I won't vote, I mean, it's not a motion, so I wouldn't support it, but I think that we do have the votes, as Alderman Tebow had said.
Okay. The motion is for final passage as amended. Seeing no more discussion, will the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes?
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
No.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
No.
Alderman Senate.
No.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
9 yeas, 4 nays.
and that motion carries. Resolution 2628 is duly adopted as amended.
Second reading of R-26-039, discontinuing 11 expendable trust funds.
Alderman Johnson.
I'll make a motion for final passage of R-26-039 by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
13 yeas, 0 nays.
that motion carries, and Resolution 2639 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-26-040, approving the cost items of 3 sidebar agreements between the Board of Police Commissioners and the Police Supervisors Association, NEPBA Local 25, regarding vacation, sick leave, and personal days.
Alderman Tebow.
I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-26-040 by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes,
12 yeas, 1 nay.
That motion carries, and Resolution 26-40 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-26-041, approving the cost items of a collective bargaining agreement between the National Board of Education and the Nashua Teachers Union Local 1044 AFT AFL-CIO Unit C Secretaries from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029.
Alderman Dowd.
Make a motion for final passage of R-26-041 by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
No.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
That motion carries, and Resolution 2641 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-26-044, changing the purpose of up to $1,670,085 of unexpended bond proceeds from 5 school building improvement projects to the bicentennial school roof replacement project.
Alderman Dowd.
I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-26-044 by roll call pursuant to Charter Section 49. I'd like to talk to it briefly.
Alderman Dowd.
I believe that everyone got a copy of the presentation that was made at budget. If there are any questions, I can answer them.
Discussion, Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. I had sent some emails to CFO Enright because I was asking questions about when these invoices were paid and how long some of this surplus on these bonds was sitting. What I don't understand, when they were paid off, how come we didn't use some of the money to pay off the bonds?
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, there's several things that impacted that. One, on the McCarthy School, we had high-vac issues, and we didn't pay the contractors till they fixed them, and that was a short time ago. The other bills came trickling in. We finally sat down with Mr. Gray and Ms. Enright and a couple other people and Sean Smith, went through all the invoices, made sure all the invoices were paid, and that was a process. And as soon as we were absolutely certain that all the invoices on these bonds had been paid and this money was eligible, that's when we took the action. There's been a lot of work on this, and we have a roof that is in dire need of replacement. And if we don't do this action this evening, if you do a bond later on, it's going to cost you a lot more money, plus you'll have a lot more leaking on that roof.
You've heard the motion. Discussion, Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. And I get that, but I got some payoff dates on R-22-066 and R-24-005. They were paid off in June of 2025. And those were the most money. One was $452,690, and one was $823,397. And, you know, I guess what bothers me is the fact that we've been paying principal and interest on this money that could have been probably used to pay off some of the bonds. Yes, it might cost us a little bit more money now, but we might not have known about the roof. But the taxpayers were still paying principal and interest on this money that we bonded. And so that's what my concern is. I will support this tonight because we have the leaky roof. But that's why I started asking, when did all these invoices come in? Because this isn't, you know, chump change or anything. This is quite a bit of money here that could have been used to pay off some of the bonds, you know, where we're paying, you know, principal and interest on. But I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention And like I said, I wasn't here last week when you discussed it.
We had other resolutions with the invoices and things processing through the school department to the city, and now with Mr. Gray, all of that's been corrected, and we are in a much better position today than we were. Not the construction, that was fine, but the invoices.
Thank you.
We keeping you up? Completely teasing. Alderman Clee.
Mayor said exactly, I think, probably how we're all feeling, but
Yeah.
I can't disagree with what my colleague from Ward 5 said. If we had paid this down earlier, we would have saved some money, but as it's been pointed out, we didn't, we're here. This is something that's going to have to get done anyway, so whether we do it now or we do a bond in July or August or whenever, it would be at a much higher rate. May I ask, I don't know if Alderman Dowd knows this answer, but do you know what the current rate of the bond is? And maybe I need...
I could answer that, but I'd rather have it answered by the CFO.
Part two of that is, what would we expect if we did a new bond, the rate to be?
That's some technical questions.
I'm sorry.
She's never coming here again.
But I do want it to be known that I do agree with
Appreciate that.
my Ward 5 colleague.
Actually, I didn't have the...
If I may, Madam President, Dawn Enright, CFO. The current rate most likely would be around 4.5% on the bonding, and trying to get to the bond page, I believe. These bonds were between 3 and 4%.
So not too much difference then, correct?
Depends on the amount of money you're talking about.
Right, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. The reasons I stated in the Budget Review Committee, I'm not going to support this. My support doesn't come from a lack of wanting students to have secure roofs overhead. My opposition solely comes from the fact that if this same resolution had come to us a couple weeks later, it could be calculated against fiscal 27, and we would not need to exempt these monies from our calculation to stay beneath the spending cap. So for that reason, I'm going to vote no, but it is not anything personal against Bicentennial or the students or the roof there.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. I actually had a question about the exemption. I was looking at so I have the resolution up here, and it says, reading, that second paragraph, the capital expenditures described herein of up to 1.6 million are deemed necessary and have been recommended by the Capital Improvements Committee. And then here's my question, and therefore exempted from the limitation defined by Nashua City Charter 56-C, which we all know to be the spending cap. And then in the city charter, or in the NROs, I see here in paragraph B, it says the combined annual municipal budget for purpose of section 56C of the city charter does not include the following: the fund balance account, special revenue funds, all prior year escrow accounts, Hillsborough County taxes, the overlay assessment, and then all capital projects funded by bonds. So my question to that is, are we making a special exception because of the spending cap, or is that already written into the city charter that because it's a capital expenditure funded by bond, that it's automatically exempted regardless of if we decide to or not? That's my question.
Are you sure you're reading from the city charter and not an ordinance?
I'm reading the NROs, that paragraph B.
The NROs are the ordinances.
Yeah, right. That's where I got that from.
Right. It's illegal.
So should I ignore that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
So to my question, sorry.
What's the question?
My question is this because it's approved by the Capital Improvements Committee and is bonded technically, is it exempted from the spending cap anyway? Or do we by passing this resolution, we have to do that?
It is to take advantage of that exception in the charter.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
No.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
That motion carries, and Resolution 2644 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-26-045, authorizing a lease agreement with Drop Bike Corp. DBA Drop Mobility at 117 Elm Street.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make the motion for final passage of R-26-045 by roll call.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Alderwoman Kelly.
I just have a question, maybe through you to the mayor. I walked by City Hall on my way to have breakfast the other day, and these are already out front, so
They've been out for like a month.
why do we need this vote?
She said that they're already deployed. They're already out.
They are already deployed.
So why are we?
This doesn't cost us any money at all.
I guess my follow-up is why do we need this if it's already been done?
May I address that question?
Thank you.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you, Matt Sullivan, Community Development Director. The answer is that, it's all good. The answer is that currently these bikes require a maintenance facility, Alderwoman Kelly. While the bikes are deployed, we do not have a maintenance facility that will last through the season of deployment. Currently, they're being maintained in a parking space that's being leased in the High Street Flats parking garage. That arrangement is only intended to continue through the month of July, at such time that it's our intent to move into the cafeteria space at the Elm Street Middle School through October of this year. And so that was really a temporary arrangement at the High Street Flats garage. This is a more permanent, albeit still temporary home for the rest of the deployment season in 2026, hence the reason for the lease.
Yes.
Thank you, and I was unable to come to the, what's it, infrastructure, whatever meeting it was. Oh, I'm really blurry up there. I'm just interested, like, we've done this before, and they ended up in the river, and they ended up on top of the, pillars to the bridge. Like, are there
that one's still
different, I don't know how anyone got it up there, but like, are there different parameters in place with this company so that we won't necessarily be seeing that sort of level of vandalism?
Madam President, if I can address the question, Matt Sullivan, Community Development Director.
Yes.
Alderman Kelly, I think that unfortunately, as we look back at the VO ride deployment, which happened several years ago, as you referenced, that deployment is, I think, remembered, unfortunately, based on the misconduct of individuals that, as you say, would toss bikes in the river, vandalize them in various stages. But the program was actually relatively successful at that time. And so for all of those vandalism incidents, for all of that misuse, deployment was quite successful. And so I can't say there are additional parameters in place to prevent someone from throwing a bike over the bridge, to prevent them from unfortunately damaging a vehicle. But what I hope we will find is that the benefits to the community provided by this additional micromobility access that's relatively affordable My hope is that there'll be benefits generally to limiting vehicle transportation, allowing for folks to get around the city in a different manner than they traditionally would. So will there still be misuse? That's certainly a possibility. But my hope certainly is that the public benefit will outweigh any potential outlying misuse that may happen throughout the deployment season.
All set. Alderman Lopez.
To Director Sullivan, does the lease agreement stipulate the use of the cafeteria specifically, or is it just 117 Elm Street?
I'll address that question, Madam President. The lease will ultimately stipulate the use of the cafeteria. Some of the lease terms are yet to be defined, but just for the record, because I think it is important, that is the intended use, Alderman Lopez. And if I may maybe jump ahead to a question that you might have, we're very cognizant of the fact that the cafeteria could be used potentially again as a warming station location for the 26-27 season. So we do intend to vacate the cafeteria space in advance of any potential use for a warming station. We have contemplated the fact that those uses could intersect, and we'll make sure that they don't as part of the lease that's agreed to.
Follow-up?
Alderman Lopez.
If somehow this city slipped on its conscience and we decided to do a resource center there, would that also be included if, in terms of the lease saying if the city found a different use for it, we could rearrange it? Or is it going to specifically stipulate the warming station?
Alderman Lopez, the lease that's being contemplated here will not speak to the resource center, sorry, the warming station use explicitly. What it instead will do is say that there's a finite term of the lease. And as of this point in time, what we are moving forward with is October 15th. So our intent is, and I should go beyond just intent, we will be presenting a term of October 15 being the end date for this agreement with Drop Mobility. In the event that there's a further conversation about using the Elm Street Middle School for something earlier in the season, there will be a need to directly revisit the terms of this lease to ensure that we're not violating the terms of it with Drop Bike Mobility. But certainly Alderman would have the ability to have that conversation at a later time. But just to be clear, this lease term is through October 15 of 2026, which we believe to be far in advance of when the warming station would open for the year, based on conversations with Director Bagley.
Okay.
Seeing no one, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
That motion carries, and Resolution 2645 is declared duly adopted. Oh, I'm sorry, unfinished business ordinances. Sleeping over here.
Second reading of O-26-013, amending the zoning map by rezoning land along Northeastern Boulevard in Industrial Park Drive to Highway Business HB.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of O-26-013 by roll call. Could I speak to it very briefly?
Alderman Sullivan.
This essentially adopts, it allows our land use code to adopt to the current economic situation. It's zoned park industrial now. This highway business allows for more flexibility in that specific area of Northeastern Boulevard. There is talk of perhaps a new restaurant moving in, and I think that this, by passing this ordinance, we open up the flexibility of that specific area of the city, which is welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to make 2 points. First, during the, we had the public hearing, and then we spoke about it at PEDC, and a gentleman from the other side of the highway, who was still considered a butter, had showed up. He was late for the hearing, and he was very concerned. And his concern when he received the letter was that the city was going to potentially take, I don't know why, but that he was going to potentially lose his property through eminent domain or parts of it or so on. And I said, no, that had nothing to do with it. So I just want to reassure that those that are listening is that this rezoning does not affect any of the residential areas, but if you're abutting, whether you're across the street or physically abutting it, so those that are across the street from this area are not being touched or affected in any way. Whether or not there would be an increase in traffic, I think it was discussed that there would be no true impact on traffic. However, whatever comes there, whether it be a restaurant or something like that, still has to go in front of the planning board where those discussions will happen. Potential traffic impact studies and so on. This is just allowing them to apply for and so on. In the past, if a restaurant wanted to come there and this isn't quite zoned, they could go to the zoning board and ask for variance or something to that nature. They would still then, once they're building and so on, still have to come through planning. So this is not saying that, as my colleague from Ward 9 said, there's a discussion of a potential restaurant. It's not a done deal that the restaurant just gets it. They still have to go through all the other processes of the planning board and so on. So I just want to reassure those that are listening is that we are not allowing this restaurant to come. We're just allowing the potential of a restaurant or something of that ilk. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a
Motion.
comment.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. Since Ward 9 basically abuts Ward 5, and Northeastern Boulevard, you have a McDonald's, and now you have the big Porsche dealer, which is massive compared to the Holiday Inn. Everybody was afraid of the Porsche dealer. It hasn't seemed to be putting in a lot of traffic there. You have the FAA Center, and you have a couple of small businesses over there. I'm pretty confident in this that I don't think it's going to draw as much traffic as a casino's going to do on Exit 1, that this is. And I hope that if there's any problems, they will contact Alderman Sullivan and myself, because I kind of abutted going down certain points. And we'll be more than happy to work with our constituents if there's any issues here. But I don't foresee anything. If we get a restaurant there, how much you see cars coming in, it's not going to be like a Walmart. So thank you I couldn't make the meeting that night, but thank you for giving me the information.
Alderman Tebow?
Sure, hey, it butts Ward 8 too, so give me a call. I mean, I literally could walk there, so okay.
Anyone? Oh, Alderman Lopez.
It does not abut Ward 4, but I know their numbers, so you could call me.
We're getting punchy.
Yeah, the hour is late.
Yes.
Okay. Motion is for final passage. Seeing no one else with questions, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes.
Alderman Senate.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
Yes.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
That motion carries, and ordinance 2613 is declared duly adopted. Okay, new business resolutions.
First reading of R-26-046, authorizing the sale of surplus property.
Additional sponsors. Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Morgan, Alderman Gregg, and myself. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Committee on Infrastructure, Planning Board, and the Board of Public Works.
First reading of R-26-047, authorizing amended and restated master development agreement and Fourth Amendment to purchase and sale agreement with Lansing Melbourne Group LLC regarding NIMCO site.
Additional sponsors. Alderman Clee, Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Morgan, and myself. And
Greg.
Alderman Gregg.
Madam President, may I also ask that it be referred to the BIDA committee, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Given its first reading, I will assign that to the Finance Committee, Planning Board, and the Business Industrial Development Authority, BIDA.
First reading of R-26-048, relative to the supplemental appropriation of $1,607,694.55 for various expenditures from miscellaneous revenue, facility, and field rental fees in assigned fund balance.
Additional sponsors. Alderman O'Brien. Okay. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee and schedule a special Board of Aldermen public hearing on Monday, July 27th, 2026, in the Aldermanic Chamber at 7 p.m. New business ordinances.
First reading of O-26-018, removing the total time limit for the public comment periods during committee meetings.
Additional sponsors? Alderman Lopez. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee.
First reading of O-26-019, incorporating the Environmental Health Department subdivision review fee with the other subdivision plan review fees.
Additional sponsors? Alderman O'Brien. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Planning and Economic Development Committee, Planning Board, and schedule an Aldermanic Planning and Economic Development Committee public hearing on Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, at 7 p.m. in the Aldermanic Chamber. Period for general public comment. We have 3 individuals who have signed up. Stephen Scare.
Good evening, Stephen Scare, Nashua. I'm responding to board members' reactions to my comments at the June 9th meeting. I said that the word hate is a rhetorical weapon used to silence those who question gender ideology. I described this ideology as a destructive and incoherent religion and challenged the board to define its basic terms: boy, girl, man, woman, gender, and gender identity, without collapsing into circular reasoning or stereotypes. Predictably, board members dismissed my comments as hate. Alderwoman Klee claimed that people are suffering because of hate for transgenders. No, people are suffering because of medical interventions that lack sound evidence of long-term benefits. When patients get worse after transitioning, advocates blame insufficient treatment rather than the interventions themselves. When affirmation fails, it's always because you didn't affirm enough. Even tragic outcomes like suicide are blamed on those who raise concern rather than the snake oil peddlers who sell this as life-saving care. Alderman Tebow said, I don't define people as men, boys, girls, or women. I define them as people. This is an evasion. If a seasoned alderman can't tell you what a boy is, how does a vulnerable middle school girl know infallibly that she's a boy? Alderman Smith recommended the book I Am Me for anyone who heard hateful or hurtful speech, a story about affirming a child's beauty as they are. I agree, children are beautiful as they are, without puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, or surgeries that remove healthy breasts. Gender ideology doesn't promote acceptance. It tells girls who don't conform to stereotypes that they're actually boys who need to be chemically and surgically altered. I recommend the book Jack, Not Jackie, available at our public library. It tells the story of a girl who dislikes pink sparkly things and prefers bugs, climbing trees, and mud. Instead of accepting her as she is, the story reframes her as a boy and assigns her a new name and pronouns. The real harm lies not in questioning gender ideology, but what this religion does to young people. The damage and the chronic pain it inflicts on girls and boys whose bodies are irreversibly harmed. The true intolerance belongs to those who shut down debate, brand dissenters as bigots, and punish anyone who refuses to bend the knee to transgenderism. Prove me wrong. Instead of announcing how loving you are and how hateful I am, tell me what a transgender child is without resorting to circular reasoning or stereotypes. Make this make sense. Thank you.
Beth Scare?
Beth Scare, Nashua. Now that we have the judgment against the city in our flag lawsuit and the new flag ordinance has been passed, a 5-year fight for my constitutional rights finally comes to an end. For 5 years, Mayor Donchis decided whose message was allowed on the citizen flagpole in front of City Hall. My Save Women's Sports flag was taken down less than 24 hours after we raised it, after former Alderwoman Jan Schmidt called it a hate flag, and she pressured the mayor into having it removed. The mayor was so frightened by my flag that he sent city workers at 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning to take it down. It feels really good that although my flag won't fly on the citizen flagpole, the pride flag won't fly either. At the risk of again being called a hater by members of this board, I will call out what I saw at Nashua Pride this year. The Satanic Temple marched in the parade for the second year with the demon Baphomet on their banner, thanks to Mayor Donch's staff who approved their parade application again. The Reproductive Freedom Fund of New Hampshire had condoms and morning after pills freely available on their table, and a drag performer named Lucifer Crisis performed dressed as a devil. Another drag performer had a noticeable bulge under his too tight leotard. Sex and Satanism are not family friendly, and there were many young children there. I know members of this board want to focus on the happy side of Pride, but the dark side was on my mind Saturday. We were there to bring attention to the children and vulnerable adults who are left with missing body parts, pain, trauma, infertility, and sexual dysfunction after medical transition, including our friend Amanda, who had her uterus and ovaries removed and her vagina closed up at St. Joseph Hospital, leaving her body irreversibly damaged. It's ironic that Alderwoman Smith recommended a book for children about being their authentic selves and not conforming, and yet she called my husband hateful for saying that gender nonconforming kids are beautiful just as they are and shouldn't be put through body-damaging treatments in order to conform to gendered stereotypes. Can we all agree that our goal should be that kids grow up healthy with their bodies intact? It's okay for boys to be feminine. It's okay for girls to be masculine. Let's discard regressive gender stereotypes and let kids be kids. Thank you.
And the last person is no longer here, so that concludes public comment. Remarks by members of the board. I'll start over here with Alderman Lopez.
First, I just want to comment, as was just immediately pointed out, the Pride Festival and Parade were organized. It seemed like everybody was having a good time. I think the people of Nashua generally liked it. So I want to commend the mayor for being able to pull together the parade part of that, and then Downtown Nashua Association for doing the festival. We also had a successful Juneteenth celebration on Friday. I want to recognize the organizers of that, particularly the Family Resource Network. And on a personal note, Kim Whitaker has worked with myself as Alderman of Ward 4, the Block Party, for many, many years, trying to get Juneteenth recognized and celebrated in a community way. And there are a lot of other partners and community members who do it as well. I know Soul Sisters does a luncheon and a breakfast. But it is nice to see a community member who really cares about the community and cares about an issue, able to find people that will work with her and make an event that is accessible and welcoming to all. I also want to thank DPW for bringing the garbage cans on short notice. There's a little bit of a hiccup with some of our permitting process, but they were very receptive, responsive, and we appreciated it. And then finally, July 11th, we are doing the Tree Streets Block Party from 1 p.m. to 5. Thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. I just want to let everybody know that Thursday, this Thursday, June 25th, at 6 p.m. to 7:30, I'm having a Ward 5 meeting at Maine Dunstable School, and it's been on the Nashua Scoop, and also Donna was nice enough to send it out emails and also city events. So I don't want anybody to say that they didn't know anything about it this time, but I always make the announcement. I'm looking forward to this. This time, unfortunately, the mayor and Director Photo cannot attend, but I'm going to have the police chief and the fire chief that's going to be there so they can answer any questions. So I just wanted to put this out. Thank you.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to wish all the students in Nashua a happy summer as of anywhere between 11:45 and 12:30 this afternoon, when they were all thrust upon their parents for the summer. I just also want to remind people, as I often do at this time, that with the closure of school comes the opening of our city pools, I think by the end of this week, if not already. And just to caution folks when traveling around Burke Street by Girls Inc. or Centennial Pool over by Holman Stadium, or Fairgrounds Elementary and Middle School, because I think one of the great bastions of summer vacation is kids being able to get together and go to their local pools and make noise and cause trouble. And we want them to be able to do that safely, if not rambunctiously. So happy summer to all, and that's all I've got tonight.
Okay. Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. I wanted to use my time to congratulate Nashua's Uboka Okori. I'm sorry if I butchered that. He was drafted tonight, 17th overall, and he went to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just for those, maybe if you're not basketball fans, they were the world champions last season, 2025, but then he was traded to the Detroit Pistons, also a very good team in the NBA, so look forward to having him on the bench and playing the Celtics next year, and hopefully he gets some time, so congratulations to him and to his family. Thanks.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, just real quickly, I want to thank all the members of the Budget Committee. It's been a long process getting to where we're at tonight, and I have comments and have talked to several of the Budget Committee members, and we have changes that we want to see in the next year's budget process, and we're going to be having a meeting. I don't know whether it's going to be a budget meeting or a separate meeting to decide how we want this to look going forward.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, I would just like to sadly make the board aware that the National Fire Rescue lost a very good guy, Deputy Chief Glenn Telgen. He was one of the ones, didn't immediately, but he took over my position of Group 1. But Glenn was an outstanding firefighter, great family, and he will be sorely missed. It was pancreatic cancer. I had cancer myself. It's what you do. Firemen don't know. Guys don't know the crap we step in. But it happens. It happens. And I'm glad that we're compensated, and I'm glad the state realized. But for us, what you're concerned, it is classified as a long line of duty death. And so I wish the Telgens all the best. And Glenn, someday we'll see you up in heaven, brother. Take care. Thank you.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, congrats to Ibuka Okori. I'm glad he got moved to Detroit instead of Memphis, or because it was Memphis originally. So I prefer him there. Also, so Pride Festival was excellent. Thank you for the mayor and his staff for putting on the parade, although it was smaller than normal and a different route. It was still excellent. You know, it's shameful that people want to shun a community because they just don't agree with what they are or what they do or who they love, and that's just awful. It's awful people. They were thrown out. They may not have told you that, but they were thrown out because you know what? It's a private community event. They were in there taking pictures and taking video of people, the vendors that were there serving the people and other people, and they had to be thrown out of there because it's a private community event. Also, yeah, there was kids in there. You know why? Because the parents that approve of going in there took their children in there. No children were just running into Holman Stadium past the gates and hanging out in there and seeing all kinds of crazy things, sacrifices and all kinds of stuff that people say that happens in there. You know, I heard today, someone who was running for governor called me and told me what a great event it was. That's the only reason they called me. They didn't call me for support or any other kind of thing. They just wanted to tell me how great that event was, and it was one of the best Pride events they've been to, and they were at the Portsmouth Pride Festival earlier in the day. So kudos to the National Downtown Association. Again, you shouldn't be going into events that you shouldn't be at. So you can laugh all you want. You're a hater. I'm glad that I'm glad you think it's funny to hate on people that are just trying to live their lives without being bullied and brutalized. And then finally, on the budget, I hate to vote no on a budget. I absolutely hated to vote no on it. And, you know, it wasn't political at all. I just wanted it to be a decrease instead of an increase. For people who will use it politically, and there will be people out here, probably on this board, that will use it politically and saying, hey, we got the money back to the unaffiliated people. It was never brought up once except for the time that Alderwoman Kelly put in the fire unaffiliated, and I voted for approval of that. So, because it was done in the budget, and I knew where we were standing, and I knew we were still coming in under, I said yes to that. And I believe strongly in a strong fire department and a well-paid fire department. But no one mentioned it before. No one, we had two sessions that people could make amendments on the budget committee. No one did, and yet I'm hearing today, oh my God, the passion to put this money back in there, I didn't hear one time, except for the fire, which we did. So for people to come in here now and say, oh man, I've been thinking about this whole time. If we brought it to the budget committee, maybe we could have used those sessions to pair off money, which is hard to do in this session. It's hard to do in this aldermanic meeting. We could have done it in the budget sessions a lot easier than tonight. And so I wasn't going to vote yes on that. I'm sorry. And if people are going to take a victory lap tomorrow that they got the pay, I'm not against them getting the pay. I just didn't like the way it happened, and I didn't want to put an increase in the budget. So sorry, not the year to do it, but thank you.
Aldermember Van.
First of all, a personal apology. I was late for personal reasons, and I apologize to everyone for the lateness. Two things. Ward 1, the CMC emergency room is opening soon. There will be a ribbon-cutting ceremony. I will get you the date. Come on down and watch the ribbon get cut.
But not unsafely.
Yeah. So, and second of all, the Actor-Singers teen group will be doing the School of Rock this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's just gonna be a hoot. So come on down. Thank you.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I want to thank my colleague, Alderman Tebow, for his passion, and he's 100% right. I should have asked someone to do that, and I will throw myself on the sword for this one. No, I will. You can say no all you want, but I will, because the truth is, I wasn't thinking that the firefighters had been extracted from the affiliated. So that's on me, and I take full responsibility for it. You are 100% right on everything you said, and I don't think anybody's going to fault you for, or anybody else who voted against the budget. So please know that. And on that note, I want to thank all my colleagues for that. You going through the entire process. I think we all needed to go through that. The vote of no, the discussion as to what could happen next. I think it's important, education for us and so on. I'm not thrilled with the budget either, but it is what it is, and I did not want to hurt anybody going forward. So, and I want to also thank my colleagues, Alderwoman Gregg, who I know is truly under the weather, but stuck it out for this meeting, and she's here, as well as Alderman Sullivan, who is on the other side of the ocean and in a different time zone and so on, and he stuck it out for this meeting. Two really good people for what they're doing and so on. But I want to make comment to the public speaker. First off, I respect everything that person said. I don't think it was very nice for the person in the audience to be laughing. While it is their right, if we were to sit here and laugh at something that they had said, we would be severely chastised as well. We should. So I think we should all be respectful of when people are speaking and not try to make the laugh so loud that everybody could hear it to let you know their disdain. Last week, someone laughed when I spoke, and that person came over very kindly and apologized to me, and we had a very decent conversation. I also want to comment that I did tell that person that I had 2 family members who committed suicide because of gender identity, and it was truly as a result of gender identity and not being accepted. My uncle, who we didn't find for 1 week, had hung himself in the middle of a heated August summer, so you can imagine what his body was like when we found it. We couldn't even read the note in his pocket. But he had been suffering from that, and my first cousin, Tommy, who took a gun to his head because his parents turned on him when he came out to them. So to say that the gender identity conflict and so on does not push someone to suicide was just a one-sided comment. And I'm not going to call it hate speech because I think it's your opinion, but it's wrong. And as far as the satanic type of people that were at the Pride Parade, if this had been a Halloween parade, would they have felt differently? That young people would see this satanic and so on, and someone dressed as a devil. So having said that, we're all exhausted, and thank you for indulging me, Madam President.
Just thank you for everything tonight. Everybody was mostly on their best behavior, so thank you all for that. I just want to reflect on the time that Alderman Clemmons has been absent, and certainly not wishing to be in his shoes at this time, but I wish him well, and I wish his family well, his wife. That's all. Committee announcements. Okay. Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, Madam Chair, President, I would like to make a motion that the June 23rd, 2026 meeting of the Board of Aldermen be adjourned by roll call.
Motion is to adjourn. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Alderman Ravan.
Yes.
Alderman Tebow.
Yes.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes.
Alderman Gregg.
Yes.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes.
Alderman Sullivan.
Yes, now we can get breakfast.
Go to bed, John.
Alderman Sennett.
Yes.
Alderman Johnson.
Yes.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yes.
Alderman Morgan.
Yes.
Alderman Lopez.
No.
Alderman Wilshire.
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
That motion carries, and we are adjourned at 11:03 PM. Thank you, everyone.